NASA officials have...
Somebody dial 911!
Is it over?
General, we've got 11,000 people at NASA trying to figure that out right now.
TI, this is flight director. I want to get that Hubble moving, and I want it now. Roger that.
Are you suggesting that we blow this thing up from the inside?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
How?
We drill. We bring in the world's best deep core driller.
It's enormous.
Oh, shit. Oh, NASA.
Hello, NASA Control. NASA guy speaking.
Sir, an asteroid the size of Texas is heading to Earth. We've got to activate option A.
Operation Asteroid Driller Killer?
That's the one.
The one where we find the best oil driller in the world and his crew, and we train them to become astronauts so they could fly to the asteroid and land on it and then drill into it and drop a nuclear bomb and fly home in time for cornflakes?
Yep.
Still don't have a better plan than that, huh?
Nope.
All right. Okay, yeah, no problem. I'm on it. Thank you. Best oil driller in the world. I can do this. Best oil driller is... Okay, let's do this guy, shall we? Okay. Please pick up.
Yeah, what?
Hi, Bobby, Joe, Jasper, Tex, Drill Daddy. I'm Commander NASA Guy, and I was told to track down the world's best oil driller, that's you, because we have a global emergency, and I was hoping you could come in for a debrief.
Hey, what now? Hey, y'all ain't bringing me in to take off my briefs, all right? Hell no, okay? And the only time there's a global emergency is after I eat some Taco Bell, all right? Them's the facts.
No. It's a global emergency. We'd just like to meet with you to discuss getting your help with an issue that is going to affect the whole world.
The whole world, eh? Well, can you be a little more specific? I'm a busy man, you know. I got things to do here. No. I can't go into specifics right now, but it involves a threat, okay, that's coming to Earth, and we are in need of someone with your abilities to help defeat it. Again, the fate of the world is resting in the balance, so if you can... Oh yeah? There's like an alien invasion or something? Y'all can't call Will Smith? I mean, I'm just a driller, that's all I do. I drill. That's specifically what we need you to do, sir. Call me Tex. Oh, Tex, Well, y'all gonna have to tell me more about what you want before I come on down there for the depantsing. Debriefing. Yeah, that. Anyways, I'm gonna need a few things. I'm gonna need a bottle of ibuprofen. I'm gonna need 3 to 5 strippers, a jumbo bag of Doritos, because I just finished mine, keg of Coors Light, a box of Twinkies, fresh pair of undies, Cadillac convertible, a samurai sword. You want something too? You want something? And then let me get, let me get a couple moose antlers here from my dog, Charles Bronson. All right, do you want the moose antler? Hey, want some moose antlers? Oh. Also, if you can get me the 3rd season of The Mandalorian on the Disney Plus, because we done run out. All we had is up to 2. So give us that 3rd one, if you don't mind. And a lifetime supply of Domino's pizza with free delivery. Definitely free delivery. You know, Tex, call me Jasper. Jasper, yeah. We're going to go ahead and call someone else. You just seem kind of busy.
Oh, damn. You hear Charles Bronson? Now, hey, that was the dog. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was the dog. Hey, you got a death wish, Charles Bronson? You get it? You get it?
I'm going to go ahead and hang up now. Thank you for your time, Jasper. Best of luck.
Hey, call Harry Stamper. All right, I taught him everything I know. Hey, he'll take his pants off for you. No problem.
Harry Stamper, got it. Thank you. Okay.
Say bye-bye to the spaceman, Charles Bronson. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye, Charles Bronson. Bye, you crazy bastard. Oh, we are so screwed.
You ever heard of Evil Knievel?
No, I never saw Star Wars.
Hey everybody, it's me, Arctic Ninja Paul. I am back again with another commentary. You get to see my beautiful face, at least for the intro. I am joined this time by my buddy Sean.
Hello.
Hey, hi, Sean. This
Hi,
is my buddy
Sean.
Sean Coyle.
Hi, Paul.
We were kind of inseparable during our college years. We grew up making movies together and doing all kinds of stuff together. He's a great guy. He's hilarious. And I love him to death. Just look at him. Look at that face. You might recognize him from the Rise of Skywalker commentary. He played gray-haired J.J. Abrams, and he did a tremendous job. And so today we're going to revisit Armageddon. Many of you have seen it, I'm sure. Michael Bay's crazy meteor epic that, I mean, gosh, it's a staple of that era for sure.
This is the one where Elijah Wood outruns the tidal wave on his bicycle, right? This is the one.
No,
Okay.
incorrect.
Oh,
The wrong movie. But we will be talking about that that competitive movie, which is Deep Impact, which is, you know, kind of that era when we had so many competing movies of the same type, which is crazy. But this is going to be fun because I think we probably both love, but at the same time loathe Armageddon at the same time. It really is it's a crazy relationship of a movie. And I remember I saw it twice the day it opened, and I remember being just so I felt like I was just in a plane crash and I survived. And then seeing it the second time, they're like, hey, you got to do the plane crash one more time. I was like, fuck. And the only reason I saw it the second time was because my girlfriend at the time hadn't seen it, and she had just gotten off work. She's all excited, like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to watch this fucking thing again. So anyways, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys have fun revisiting the movie and listening to us give you some little factoids, little tidbits, observations, and things like that, and really just have fun and joke around. And if you're sitting at home and you just want to watch a movie with a couple of nerds, then come join us. It's going to be fun. So we're getting ready to start here. We are queued up at the 2-second mark. So you should see the blue Touchstone logo just peeking out the corner, not quite halfway. 2-second mark. We are both watching the iTunes version. I don't know that there's another version out there.
I don't think so.
I've never heard of one, so that would be news to me. But anyways, I don't think so either. So we're going to go ahead and start it and get going, and we're going to have a good time. Also, if you haven't already, you can make your drink. I would keep some. I already made some extra, actually, so I'm ready to go. I plan on having more than one drink for this. But you should have your drink prepared in advance. You don't have to have the Armageddon Sour, which is the specialty drink for this episode. Whatever you want. Have whatever you want. But just make sure it's handy. It is more fun if you drink. You're not wrong. All right, so here we go. Sean, are you ready? We're going to hit play and get ready to go. I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. 3, 2.
Wait. So is it 3, 2, 1, and then press the button? Like 3, 2, 1, pull? Or pull
3, 2, 1, then pull. That's a Lethal Weapon 2 joke for those that don't get it. So 3, 2, 1, play. Here we go.
Okay, gotcha.
3, 2, 1. All right, here we go.
Nice.
Touchstone logo, which you don't see anymore.
Takes me back.
It does. I mean, it used to be, something you saw all the time with these. The Jerry Bruckheimer.
The Bruckheimer logo, which you don't see this.
Was this the first time they had the Bruckheimer logo? I can't remember. Because those who don't know, it used to be Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer, and it was 2 trees. And then now it's just the one. And here's a Valhalla. That is.
Rock would have been his.
Yeah, I think the Rock was the last Simpson Bruckheimer. So.
And I still think to this day, Michael Bay's best movie.
Armageddon?
No,
The Rock.
The Rock.
Oh,
yeah.
Whew, I was going to try and have to punch you through a Zoom call. Here we go through space. You're about to hear the voice of Charlton Heston. They spared no expense. So a little background for me with Armageddon is by this point I'd seen Bad Boys and I'd seen The Rock, and I was a bona fide Michael Bay fanboy at this point. And this is before the internet was as prevalent as it was in terms of like movie news and all that other stuff. And you didn't just capture the trailers. You couldn't just go online and just watch the trailers and all that stuff at your whim. And oftentimes you didn't see it first on the internet. You saw it first in theaters.
Yep.
So I went to go see, I don't even remember what movie it was. I was with my girlfriend at the time and her best friend. And we got to the theater and they started playing trailers. And the trailer for this came out, and I was like, and I knew what it was immediately. That's how it was in those days, right? Like, you're like, oh, fuck, I know what this movie is. Like, this is Armageddon. And I was like, dude, I was enthralled. I'm sitting there watching the trailer. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And I remember the trailer was great. It really is a great trailer.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they got to the end with the date, like, and it's coming out. And I was, this is my face exactly. I was like, and then my girlfriend's best friend at the time was like watching me. She was like, look at his face. And I could tell you honestly, like, I wanted to leave the theater at that point. I did not, whatever the fuck we saw that day, I couldn't even tell you. I just wanted to leave. I was like, nothing's going to top that trailer. Why am I even still here?
And this, speaking of Michael Bay, according to IMDb, anyway, I was looking at some trivia bits. This he regards this as his worst bit of filmmaking that he's ever done. But he also blames the studio, the conditions, because I guess they only had like 16
was it 16 weeks
to put this whole
16
thing
weeks
together.
to shoot Armageddon is crazy. Yes. It's insane. It's insane. And you think about the way Bay shoots, right? Like he shoots miles and miles of film, which was a huge thing for this movie too, where they worked with Kodak, and they shot in anamorphic, which you can tell, if you're looking at your screen now, it's definitely anamorphic. I prefer anamorphic, actually. If I was shooting films today, I would shoot in anamorphic. I'm positive of it.
Absolutely.
Or IMAX. But then again, shooting in IMAX these days due to COVID kind of just doesn't matter.
And to be clear, anamorphic horizontally. None of this vertical filmmaking stuff.
Oh God. The sooner that can just not happen, the better.
It's cute now, Damien Chazelle, but you're a talented guy. You'll
Calm down. So looking at this now, like seeing like all these astronauts just get blown up in space, it's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean,
they all got families, and
we've had tragedies and stuff like that before. It's like you got like the faceplate blowing off from the astronaut and everything. It's like, good Lord. Michael Bay's, you can see Michael Bay's like, I want his faceplate just to blow the fuck off his face. I just want an explosion off his face.
Well, the subtitles, Paul and I are watching the subtitles on. It makes it even more horrific because it just said screaming Houston. Oh God. Okay, now before we get too far into it, so Paul, you used to take a little bit of grief early in our friendship from the circle of friends we hung out with because you pronounced it Ben Affleck.
Did I?
You did.
I don't even remember.
It's a movie with Ben Affleck. And people would correct you and say Affleck, and you'd be like, "How you?"
Like, fuck you.
You'd get real defensive. Like,
don't tell me I know everything.
Are you him?
It's funny when you're in your 20s, you think you know everything, right? Like you can't, whatever, dude. I know. Shit. 23 years old. Your Stouffer's pot pie is ready.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that lady. I don't think I've seen this all the way through in probably like 15 years or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In for a treat.
Yeah.
I mean, everything moves so briskly. And that's kind of the biggest criticism, I would say, of Armageddon is that everything moves at like a breakneck pace, right? Like it's nonstop. Cut. I mean, you could count the cuts. Let's see, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Oh, we almost had a 4,000 line cut. Like everything just moves briskly. That's crazy.
The kids are in here right now trying to stealthily take the yoga mats out.
Are they gonna do some yoga tonight?
Hi, Daddy.
Hi. Okay, close the door. Yeah, I think the average scene cut or scene length is a second and a half. It said.
That's just crazy.
That's the average. Scene.
Yeah, Frenchie. Okay, there's a Frenchie. I have a French bulldog, so I'm trying to tell him. He's probably doing something terrible because he's really quiet. Lucky, what are you doing? Oh, he's trying to hide his bone. My dog tries to hide his bone. That's like the new thing. If you listen to the Beard and the Bald podcast, then you know that is a typical pop-up during the podcast is my dog hiding his bone while I'm trying to do the podcast. He just jumps up and tries to hide it in all these weird places he couldn't even normally reach.
Now, the screenplay credit there is Jonathan Hensley and J.J. Abrams.
And they had a total of, what was it, 8? Was it 8 writers? It's a ridiculous amount of people that worked on this film. J.J. wasn't one of the original writers, which is weird.
No.
Not even of the concept itself, which is crazy.
But he punched up a lot of the dialogue, I guess, right?
Yeah, dialogue and shit like that is what they cleaned up. I'm sure he wrote, I'd be throwing your big fat pineapple eating ass. That's J.J. Abrams all the way. Now, this is pure Bayham right here. Like, this is the stuff that makes Michael Bay, right? Like the flipping cars in slow-mo with like just a shit ton of debris flying everywhere. And then this silly humor. This is like Bay, these silly goofball humor things that always feel so disingenuous is very Michael Bay. Like, it's like Michael Bay, sometimes I think he's kind of like an alien that doesn't understand comedy. It's like he came to Earth and he's like, I am going to make funny jokes, but none of them are really funny. They're always just so juvenile. Like somebody is telling, like he's having a teenager explain comedy to him. But Bay knows how to shoot. You can never take that away from him. He is
absolutely
a master of cinema in terms of understanding craft and spectacle. Whew. Look at that. I mean, that is a beautiful shot. This shot, I always love that shot of the taxi just kind of coming out of nowhere. Like, that's fucking great stuff. It's beautiful. This bus, I remember, just like obliterated. It's like they blow it up right down the middle. I mean, this is, look at that. We even got some doves flying in there. He got some John Woo shit going on.
It's a very dated reference. Saddam Hussein is bombing us.
God.
Says Mr.
Here you
Cooper
have,
in the text.
And then you have the Twin Towers there, which is, you know, they chose not to go back and take it out just because, you know, it's a part of history. And I don't think that they should. I hate that revisionist shit. There's, you know, so people don't get upset. It's pretty dumb.
No, I agree.
Like, I mean, look at this. Like, we just opened the movie. How many cars have flipped? Is there a car flip count? Like, look at that truck. It's like on the 10th floor. There's another taxi flipping. There's got to be more. He can't stop there.
Look at that.
I mean, just think, for a lot of filmmakers, it would take 16 weeks just to shoot this opening sequence. And he shot the whole movie in 16 weeks.
That was in the Jerry's Angels trailer.
Oh, yeah, I took everything. I stole
Inside
everything.
Baseball. Very young-looking Billy Bob Thornton, surprisingly.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't feel like that long ago, but it's over 20 years. It's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? And, you know, I think that's honestly a testament to Bay, though, because, you know, he shoots in a way that doesn't ever feel, you're not like, oh, my God, I'm watching something from the 80s. It's like, no, this looks... I mean, some of those effects we just watched are kind of dodgy by today's standards, you know?
Yeah.
But for that time, that's you know, that's kind of an eerie, ominous kind of vision right there, because that's almost exactly what it looked like on 9/11. So, but I'm glad they kept it in there. You know, it's still, the Twin Towers are a part of history, one way or another. So you don't want to take them out.
A shout out for Keith David, who was introduced a few seconds ago.
Keith David,
awesome in everything.
He really is. I mean, Keith David deserves some kind of, like, I don't know, honorary Oscar or something.
Lifetime achievement award.
Just for showing up in Hollywood. I love Keith David, man. Like, he's one of those actors, like, if he shows up in your movie, it's like there's tons of actors like him in that way, that they just show up. There's Michael Bay, young Michael Bay.
Yeah, really. Just watched him in Bad Boys for Life.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There he is again.
That's young, like Victoria's Secret commercial making Michael Bay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot he was doing that. So I actually interviewed Michael Bay. I met him once in Miami for the junket for 13 hours.
Oh, very cool.
And, you know, he was actually great to talk to. I was really happy to talk with him. And he actually gave me like an extra couple minutes because he wanted to talk some more about some of the shots that he had done, which is kind of rare, you know, for a junket. Usually they're like, hey, you got 4 minutes. And at the end of that 4 minutes, you're done.
Yeah.
And there's a point where Michael Bay looks to the publicist, which you can see in the interview itself, and he says, I'm going to keep talking. And he kept going and was talking about, you know, some stuff. Oh my God, my dog totally has the zoomies right now and is just running in circles. Like, isn't it crazy how you get pets and you think, oh, they're just going to be sweet, nice. And here he is, like, my dog is literally running around in circles.
Oh, they got,
I don't know if you can hear him, but he's crazy.
Anyways, they're like kids, man. They got mood swings and tantrums.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
I need like one of those trank darts from old school. I'm gonna shoot him in the neck. You got a dart in your neck.
The actor who played the president there is the same actor who played the president in The Rock.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, young Jason Isaacs right there at the end of the table.
Young Jason Isaacs, who many of you will remember as Malfoy's dad in the Harry Potter movies, who I also interviewed for what's that movie? God, it's like, oh my God, my brain's not working. The one with Cure for Wellness, that's it.
He was also he was also really good in the Patriot.
Oh yeah, so great. Like, just what a great villain.
And
So now we have
Bruce
Bruce Willis with hair, although that looks like a hairpiece to me. Does that not look like a hairpiece to you?
It totally does. I always thought it was.
So apparently this is like one of the last few movies where he had hair before he just started shaving his head.
Yeah.
But there's no way that top portion is not a hairpiece.
Will Patton there. Will Patton, who was just like cool action movie guy for a while.
Will Patton, he's great. I love Will Patton. I actually, yet again, I got to do another drop. He's actually the last interview that I've done.
Oh, nice.
Celebrity interview. I haven't interviewed anybody since Will Patton for the podcast. He was super cool. He was just so cool and awesome and chill and just gave me more respect for Will Patton.
Well, I'll do a drop. The passenger in the taxi cab earlier was Gere Watanabe from very popular from what was it? Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles.
Oh yeah, that's
movies.
right. That's right. Yeah.
I got a chance to work with him. He was a voice on the show that I do. So he's very cool.
Yeah. So,
very cool guy.
Those that you probably don't know, because you typically don't know the behind the scenes guys, but Sean has been working in animation for what, 15 years now? 20 years? Longer?
About 15 years. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
on it, yeah.
A ton of different shows. You worked on the Tron animated series, which is actually a really fucking good show.
Yeah.
That did not get enough love. And you've been working on, what are the other two? There's more than one.
Yeah, no, I directed 2 seasons of The Awesomes.
That's right, The Awesomes. I knew I was going to forget.
Myers, and now I'm executive producer on Puppy Dog Pals, which is a cartoon for little kids.
Yep. A buddy of mine that I was just at his house today earlier, his daughter watches Puppy Dog Pals. And I was like, hey, my buddy makes that show.
And we reference a lot of these movies. We got
I know you guys have one with the Die. I was gonna say you have a Die Hard reference episode.
I wrote a whole episode that was based on Twister. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Liv Tyler. This was still the.
Oh God, she looks good. What the hell? I don't remember it looking this good. Maybe I don't know.
It's interesting.
So Liv was making. She was making Plunkett and McLean. Yeah, she turned 21. I think either after the movie or during it.
Okay.
But she was making Plunkett and McLean at the same time. So she was like traveling back and forth making this movie that year.
Nice.
And then if you also recall, which they haven't started it yet, but you'll hear it later. There's actually a couple Steven Tyler / Aerosmith songs. There's an original song for the movie, which is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. And then there's also Sweet Emotion,
Aerosmith,
which is also played in the film during one of their montage sequences. So definitely you have a more than just a Liv Tyler in this. It's a family affair for her. And this sequence here is kind of, I know it's in the script, but it feels very Michael Bay. Like,
yeah,
Bruce Willis chasing somebody around an oil rig, which is
like
probably
it's so
not
dangerous.
the best place to be shooting a fucking shotgun.
And everybody reacts like it's just like, yeah.
They're like, oh, that
Harry being Harry.
Yeah. He's just got the shotgun again. He's just running around shooting everybody.
Michael Clarke
It'll be fine. Michael Clarke Duncan, R.I.P. Fucking God. Gone too soon.
What a talent.
Such a great guy.
This was his first was this his
first big
acting gig or first?
This was his first film gig. Like he had done TV and stuff, but this was his first big like movie.
Yeah.
And I was doing a little trivia research too. And apparently like when he showed up and they started shooting, he had a lot of self-doubt and was not really performing well. Wow. And both Bruce Willis and Michael Bay kind of pulled him aside to be like, hey man, like we need to see this guy that we hired. And then from there, Michael Clarke Duncan just totally turned it around. And, he was new, he was like, he needed that. The best thing about this right here with Ben Affleck is that fucking tattoo. The fact that he has that.
This is so like, this is peak Ben Affleck being all Ben Affleck,
It's like, yeah, it's kind of like his early days rambunctious side. This is also where he got his teeth fixed. So if you go back and watch Mallrats and then come back and watch this, you're going to see a very different set of teeth. So I wonder, I don't know if it's ever been addressed, so you'll have to forgive me if I don't know the right answer and you do, but I feel like it's almost like a Michael Bay thing. Like they were like, hey man, we'll let you be the lead in this movie, but you get your teeth fixed. Because he had kind of like chiclet teeth.
Totally buy it. Yeah, I would totally buy it.
And I could see Bay being like, bro, you're going to have to fix those fucking teeth if you're going to be my lead. Because Bay was kind of, you know, he looks at things in that way. Like he's very much about the look, right? And I think that would be something he'd say. Like he'd be like, yeah, Affleck's great, but look at them teeth.
I mean, there are no unattractive people in Michael Bay movies.
Even ugly people look great in Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
Like Steve Buscemi looks like a fucking badass in this movie, even though he like ends up being crazy. You gotta like Liv Tyler is like, she's wearing like this Asian inspired dress, like with the, it's like, that's probably
shoes.
not something the daughter of an oil worker would be wearing. But Michael Bay's like, no, I want her wearing like a kimono type thing. Like, but how would she ever be exposed to something like that working on oil rigs? And Michael Bay and Tim Corbin like, shut the fuck up.
It's like, you're going to come and live on the rig for a while. Pack only what you need to survive.
She's like, I got my dress to meet the Asian money people.
Yeah.
Hey, Harry.
Yeah, I feel like she was still just kind of a personality at this point in her career. And then she disappeared for a while. But then her big, sort of rebirth when she became, she was taken serious as an actress was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yep.
Like she showed up in that and everybody all of a sudden was like, holy crap, she's amazing.
And then I guess she did The Leftovers, which I still haven't watched, so don't yell at me.
No,
everybody tells me to watch The Leftovers. I'll get there, I promise.
Really good in it.
And apparently, that's what everybody says. She's great. And I remember I did see part of an episode with her in it, and I saw she was kind of like evil or something, but I don't know anything about. I know what the basic premise is, but it's one of those shows that I've been saving to kind of like catch up on someday.
Yeah. The show itself is kind of it peters out after a while, but she's really good in it.
And you watched it all the way through to the final season?
Just 2 seasons I saw.
Oh, you didn't see the last one?
Okay. No. Didn't feel the need to. Anyway. Keith David.
Keith David.
He's amazing.
He is amazing.
How the hell did you get the beans above the Franks?
Oh, I mean, you could make There's Something About Mary spinoff with Keith David's character, and I would watch it without question.
Absolutely.
Like the origin story of how he meets Mary's mom. That would be great.
He's also great in, which is a pretty terrible movie, Men at Work with the Sheen.
I love Men at Work. I love Men at Work.
The whole bit he's got about stealing the French fries, like all the things sacred in this world, one of which is another man's French fries.
That really is a gem for him. Like Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez, they're fine, just like, kind of a couple of assholes, but Keith David definitely steals the show. Also, They Live is a classic with him and The Thing.
Yeah.
So
I always love in these movies how they have like this the super genius scientist guy explain things.
And nobody really, and everybody wants to not listen to him, right? They're just like, God damn it, this guy. Oh, here we go. Big old destruction going on the fucking oil rig.
Yeah, these guys are great under pressure.
This is why they belong in space, bro.
Now, yes, this movie is ridiculous, but I don't understand the vitriol like that, such the hatred being on people's like worst movies of all time list.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like in many ways it's kind of an easy target in that way, but it's kind of the definition of like a summer blockbuster kind of movie. This came out July 1st, 1998, and was huge.
Yeah.
It was, at the time, it was Disney's biggest moneymaker. Buena Vista, whatever. It was their biggest moneymaker. Now, obviously, you have Avengers Endgame is the biggest movie of all time.
This back in 98 made it was over $500 million. $500 million worldwide, right?
Yeah, and adjusted for an inflation today, I mean, who knows I don't know what the hell that would be, but that's a hell of a and this is before superhero movies.
Yep.
This was, Blade was out in 98, right? Like that was your superhero movies at the time.
Blade, and the Batman sequels,
or the awful Batman sequels at that time.
I'd like to think that's chocolate sauce they're covered in.
It makes me feel good that that's Hershey's syrup.
I'm Harry Stemper. Did they ever explain? Maybe we whizzed past it, but did they ever explain why they thought to come here and find Is he just like
No,
world-renowned
it's just
as the
it's
best
like one
driller
of
in the
those
world,
things
or-
where they're just like, I guess this is it right now, right? Like the Air Force guy saying,
Hi, I hear you
"Way to
drill.
get you!
Is this true that you drill?
Here,
Cool.
you're the best driller." We asked all the drillers we know who the best driller was, and they said it was Harry Stamper. Say he looked like Bruce Willis with a hairpiece.
I guess Steve Buscemi accepted this role under the condition. I get maybe it was in the script that his character wasn't like the traditional sleazeball that he always played.
Yeah, he
And
started being typecast.
And then when he signed on, they rewrote a bunch of his lines to turn him into a total sleazeball.
They're like, "Oh, we got Steve Buscemi. Fuck, let's sleaze it up." Poor guy. And Rockhound, let's just be quite honest here. Rockhound is a fucking problem. He offers nothing to the mission but problems. He never should have been on that fucking spacecraft. If there's anybody
Steve
they should have
Buscemi.
left off, it was Rockhound.
And so making this movie, because the schedule was so tight, they got access to some pretty cool, behind the scenes NASA equipment and areas and
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. They were actually able to get up close to the rockets and
Yeah, they got to film in areas that NASA normally never lets anybody in. And then film the actual, I forget what ship it was or which mission, but the ships that are taking off, when you see it take off, is the real deal. Apparently. And I'm not sure which mission that was. If that was it Atlantis? I can't remember which one it was. I'd have to look it up. But either way, that was, it's real footage of the aircraft taking off, and they were able to put cameras down in there and everything.
Yeah.
And apparently it took the screws rattled out of one of the Panavision cameras and was returned in pieces. So it's pretty interesting.
Now they describe this as a rogue comet. Is there any other kind of comet?
Is there another kind? This is not your traditional comet that announces its presence, okay? This one's just coming out of nowhere. And it's the size of Texas. I love how they've already got spacesuits, right?
Right.
They're like, "Hey, here you go. Here's a flight suit. Since you're here, you can keep it if we end up not going with you guys." You gotta love the countdown stuff shows up throughout this entire movie. Just as you watch, you'll see Michael Bay keeps that countdown going all throughout the movie. You always see the countdown so that it's continuously reminding you that shit's going down. And I don't remember where I saw it or read it, but there was a point where Michael Bay was being interviewed about the film. I think it was during the promotion rounds. And he was saying how he didn't want the audience to be able to ever take a breath.
Yeah.
He said, he's like, I wanted it to be a situation where every time they got to a new situation, everything went wrong. Like anything and everything that could go wrong would go wrong. It was like Murphy's Law, the movie. And Bay didn't say that specifically, but he talked about how he wanted it just to be a barrage on the senses. And he fucking pulled it off.
Absolutely.
Amen, Bay. You did it. I don't know, for better or for worse. You definitely pulled it off, and we felt it. Yeah, see, there's no way that's regular hair. That's a hairpiece.
Yeah, it's absolutely a hairpiece. I learned, I had no idea all these time. I had no idea that Bruce Willis was born in Germany.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, all these years. I never knew. Anyway.
She's dual citizen.
Das ist mein Design. Yeah.
Your mom is German, right?
Yep. Yeah, she's from there. Directly
Yeah,
from.
she's native. That's right. It's where your dad was stationed there, right? And that's where he met her?
Yeah, he was a helicopter pilot in Vietnam, and then afterwards he was stationed in Germany, and she worked in the war office there.
Ah.
Und the rest is history. And here I am. Hello.
Here's all the astronauts like, what the fuck are these guys doing here?
Now, we should mention Ben Affleck's favorite critique of this movie, right?
Which is great. It's I mean, I've listened to the commentary for Armageddon probably a couple times. I probably still have somewhere the Criterion disc.
Oh, it's a great commentary.
It really is, and it has a bunch of tons of people on it. But yeah, Affleck's his whole thing of I asked Michael Bay, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to be oil drillers than to train oil drillers to be astronauts? And Michael Bay's famous retort was, "Shut the fuck up, Ben." which is so perfect. And you really do have, if you listen, our commentary is obviously the best ever, but if you really want to like get involved and go deep under the hood of Armageddon, I highly recommend checking out that commentary if you can find it.
Dude, this
whole sequence cracks me up.
I just instinctively reference this in the workplace all the time. Like whenever we have trouble with like an overseas animation studio, just like you guys, your job is animation. You're a bunch of animation professionals. You gotta have a room full of animation guys thinking shit up. You gotta like
you're just sitting in a room thinking shit up. What y'all thinking up now? Hey, what you gonna do when them Pentagon papers come out? Tell you about them UFOs. You got it. Look at Billy Bob's like, all right.
Yeah, no problem. But that's such especially in the 90s, I mean 80s, 90s action movie cliche, like, fine, we're gonna do it, but we'll do it my way.
We're doing it my way, you son of a bitch. If I'm going on a space mission, I'm taking my buddies with me. And here we have a nice little montage sequence of him recruiting his team, which is, these are fun. This is just like, this is fun character stuff for a summer blockbuster type movie.
Absolutely. It's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it really, the truth is as much as you want to pick on a movie like this, it does enhance these characters. Like I love the mom's look.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in trouble with the login? And she looks over at the cops. I love this look she gives. This look, here it comes.
Straight out of Bad Boys.
I love that look. Yeah, it's like very, Again, this is these montage sequences, I think, is where Michael Bay's style really works. Where it comes together and comes together. Shawnee Smith. I interviewed her before too. She's so super sweet and nice.
First saw her in Who's Harry Crumb?
Yep. And then her and Steve Buscemi were a couple again in Michael Bay's The Island.
Oh, dude, that movie's abysmal.
It's not good.
I'm sorry, I love Michael Bay, but The Island is
it's pretty bad.
In fact, our good friend from a long time ago, Kevin Otterness, shortly after I moved out to California, he came out to stay for like a week, and just so happened to be, hey, the new Michael Bay movie's out. And he might be an even bigger Michael Bay nut than us.
There's no bigger Michael Bay fan.
We went and saw that, and I swear to this day I saw the man cry. He was just like in tears. That movie was so terrible.
Was he crying because it was bad?
So good, so bad. He wanted it to be so good. He was like speechless afterwards. He's like, I don't know what the fucking shit. Oh man.
I remember going to see AI with him. And I remember when it was over, he was so mad because it sucked. And he was like, I remember looking at him, he's like, let's just go. Like, he just wanted to leave the theater. He's like, let's go. I remember it was like a parent that was like upset, that they were acting like, that's it, let's go. And I just remember laughing so hard when he did that.
God bless that guy. Hope he's doing all right.
I think he is. I've seen some of his work. Seems to me he's doing good things.
Good man.
Everybody from our crew is doing good things. Uh-oh, that is the sound of an empty cup.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to be right back. Give me 10 seconds. Sean, the show is yours. I'll be right back.
Hey, all right. Ben Affleck's holding up 5 fingers. Bruce Willis is looking disapprovingly. Ben Affleck's now being smug. Paul's right. He did have his teeth fixed. Who'd have thought that guy would grow up to be Batman someday? I mean, play Batman, not actually be Batman. Paul. Funny story about Paul. The first time I met Paul, he had this giant banner of this movie in his bedroom. It had all the characters like heads on it with like the exploding earth and stuff behind him. That's when I knew, yeah, this guy's all right. Young Owen Wilson right there. But I don't think we really met up until this point. Team catching the bad news. Owen Wilson, there he is.
All
hey,
right,
Paul.
I'm back.
You didn't miss much.
What? I might have had a chicken wing when I was getting my drink. Just saying.
That's okay. So for the longest time, the other guy, the big guy who got the mom tattoo, all these years I thought that he was like the other Murray brother, but it's not.
Oh yeah,
He's not.
He
He's
does kind of have that look, doesn't he?
Yeah. This is the guy.
He
that
really
played Santa.
does.
He's the guy that played Santa Claus in Home Alone. He was like the
Yeah.
gives him a tic tac.
I forgot my grenadine. I'll be back again.
Yeah, no problem. Bruce Willis. Now it's sad because I think, oh, there's Paul. Yeah, I was about to get into it. I think now in 2021, I think, at least, if you live in like Twitter society, like it becomes harder and harder to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
I think kind of probably started with like Tom Cruise with his, couch hopping stuff and people thinking he was crazy. But like, I don't care about the guy's politics and beliefs. It's like, I think he's, it seems like he treats his crews and his people well. And I really love his movies.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Well, except when he's yelling at them on set.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Did you not hear that?
No.
Sean, have you been under a rock?
Well,
there's one video of him like going off about COVID stuff where he's like screaming at them and he's like,
is this on the Top Gun set or something? Or
no, this was on Mission Impossible 7.
Well, you can edit that part out. Here, Bruce Willis.
I think, well, I mean, that's really the first example. And it's, it sounds very much like the pressure of filming during COVID is something that really influenced that reaction. Yeah. So according to this, or according to the trivia, as it is, the asks on this sheet were actually written by the actors and then given to Bruce Willis to read off.
So he had no idea. Which is good. It's very authentic.
White Horse. Yeah. White House?
White
House.
White House.
And none of them want to pay taxes again.
Ever. What I was getting at is like, you've learned over the years that Bruce Willis has kind of notoriously been a very difficult person to work with, according to, certain people. And, I like, he's always John McClane to me, like I'll always love John McClane. Even though I'm watching this, I'm like, I like this guy. Like, I know behind the scenes, maybe he's a nightmare. Who knows? Kevin Smith was kind of the first one to out him as a total douchebag.
Well, Kevin Smith is always very forward about how much he hates or hated working with Bruce Willis.
There was that infamous interview when he was doing Red or Red 2.
Yeah, and he was like kind of like losing his shit.
He was just a giant tool to that poor reporter.
Unmerited. Look at Owen Wilson. So young. And you think about it, like Owen Wilson is heavily underutilized in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Even when you think about the career that he had after this, it's like heavily underutilized. He probably could have supplied a whole lot more comedy or whatever.
Well, he
this is me after I've had way too many drinks.
It's gonna be you at the end of the commentary.
At the end of the commentary,
right.
I need to go find some cheetah print underwear. So a lot of this too kind of pulls from the right stuff, which I actually just read the book, which is a fascinating book and a fascinating exploration of the space program during the Mercury trials, whatever you want to call them. So there's a lot of different stuff, and there's a lot of different right stuff references that pop in throughout the movie. But the Mercury astronauts went through, and I've actually never seen the Right Stuff movie, so I can't.
Oh, it's good. It's really
I'm
good.
sure it is. I actually bought it, but I wanted to read the book first. It's just one of those things I hadn't gotten to. But in the book, really talks about the shit that those guys went through. Like they were like guinea pigs for a long time up to getting into the Mercury program. And I'm sure the movie has some of that in there, but the book was very distinct. It's like mental tests and all kinds of shit like that. And like just weird things and people always around writing stuff down, whatever they did. And this Armageddon at this point, watching it now kind of reminds me of that, of how they're like trying to test all these guys to see where they break. But then you have to look at this like, these aren't we trying to save the world here? Do we have time for mental evaluations? Like, can we just get on with the shit that's going to get them into space and get them to work? Like I get it. Like normally you would not, want to send somebody up into space that's probably not the most sound individual, but it's like, hey, there's a fucking asteroid coming, end of the world type shit. Can we let's get on with it?
Now the doctor there, that's Udo Kier.
Udo Kier.
Yeah. He was in Blade, right? Speaking of Blade,
he was in Blade. Yeah, he was. He was like the lead bad guy vampire until Stephen Dorff killed him.
Yeah.
Love me some Blade.
So many cuts right now. Cut. I
don't even remember this scene.
See,
like, this is where, Billy Bob's talking sense, right? He's like, can they survive the trip?
Right.
The doctor's like, I don't fucking know. Probably not. Look at him. No, William Fichtner.
Oh, he's so good.
Fichtner.
And everything. There's the
SR-71 Blackbird. I don't know why those are there, but
where are they?
They're retired. They're retired ships. I don't know why they have them in there.
I feel like every Michael Bay movie has that shot of the team, low angle shot of the team walking towards camera.
I mean, I gotta be honest. Like those are some of my favorite shots. Like a slow-mo shot of people walking. There's just something about that
Remember the one from
stands out.
Pearl Harbor where Alec Baldwin's like drunk and stumbling off to the side. Good times.
God, Pearl Harbor. Woo!
Gets forgotten, right? It gets forgotten as like a big event movie, like it was, and it also gets forgotten as a Michael Bay movie, I think, too. Like when you think of its catalog, you don't.
It does because, and what's funny is, so Armageddon picks up on, kind of the Titanic stuff. That's where a lot of the late in game rewrites came in. Was they were trying to they actually created the love interest stuff between AJ and Liv Tyler to capture the Titanic crowd. But then when Michael Bay went and did Pearl Harbor, it's like full on Titanic mode.
Yeah.
So this is the zero gravity tank, and this is not
at NASA. Yeah.
This is at NASA. This is not something that they typically allow people to film in. This is it was a kind of a special treat for them to even do. I don't understand what the hell all those sharp objects are.
That's the most soundproof room.
Is that what it is?
In the history of the world, I have no idea.
I'm like, tell me more. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I always think of them as like
their podcasts.
Yeah, that's what we're recording right now. Forget what you see in the background. We're actually in that room.
How cool would that be?
That would be awesome. They're like, hey, we want you to come here to record Armageddon commentary.
Speaking of Owen Wilson, like you bring up, Owen Wilson's kind of wasted. Like, there's a lot of big name talent in this movie that they just like. Jason Isaacs is basically just dude with a clipboard walking around.
And it's interesting. I mean, it's just ultimately this is just one of those movies that served as kind of a launching pad for a lot of careers. It's just like one of those things that was in their resume that got them noticed. And then, they went on to kind of harness their abilities. Like Michael Clarke Duncan went on things like Green Mile.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson did tons of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Even Ben Affleck after this, it changed his resume forever.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, like Ben Affleck kind of fought against being the typecast hero guy, right? Like
the fans and I have already discussed Batman when you were off getting on.
Oh, cool. We'll talk about him again.
Yeah,
have you ever seen Star Wars? Like I remember this line got a huge laugh in the theater. Like everybody was laughing in the theater to that.
Now, looking at the the flight, them going through all the flight training, you were in the Army for what, like 8 years, 9 years?
9.5. Yeah. I always just say 10. I just round up.
I'm just going to assume that your time, your 2 tours overseas was exactly like a Michael Bay movie. When I imagined Paul's experience in the Army, it was a Michael Bay movie.
If they ever make, and they haven't, people always ask me too, they're like, what's the most accurate war film? I always throw out Generation Kill as a good fictional representation, even though that's based on a true story.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not fiction. I mean, it's fictional. You know what I mean? But like that kind of shows the reality in terms of like just the more nuance of it. It's funny, you'll have maybe 48 hours congested of actual Michael Bay moments, and the rest is your pulling guard. Or you're just like just sitting there. You're just like bored, you're pulling guard, you're even raiding villages, which I wouldn't call part of the Michael Bay time. Like that's like, you know, you go kick down doors and you search places and there's just no threat. You know, you're just kind of, it's kind of like a, you know, it is what it is. And then there's just driving down a highway in Iraq. Like that's like that. I wouldn't say is a Michael Bay moment, but those are ones where I'm like sweat is pouring down my brow because I'm like at any second we could fucking die. But I wish it was, I guess it's not good. Some of those Michael Bay moments didn't work out so well, but you know, that's one of the reasons that I joined the Army, was to find out what it really was, you know?
Yeah.
Like you and me, we grew up playing with G.I. Joes and, you know, Real American Hero, all that other shit. And it was like, how do you ever really know? There's only one way to find out. Let's go. That was a big part of it, just to find out those answers.
I gotta say this. I had that like random weird amount left in my glass where it was like I could either take 3 or 4 sips or I could just go all, and there was maybe a little too much to do in one big sip. So, but that's tasty.
Drink problems. I like the blue zip-up suits in this sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd wear that to the grocery store.
And I remember everybody trying to emulate like these like fluorescent lit scenes with the, you know, green gels and stuff like that. It's
all very like kind of Star Wars, right? Like this, kinda, like, you know, it's kind of like when you think about like and I mean like kind of like the Yavin, you know, moon base where they're right. Yavin's a moon, right? Fuck. Was it a planet? Anyways, when they're on the Yavin base and, you know, they have like all the lights and like doohickeys in there and all the fucking. So the guy sitting at the end of the table, I forget the actor's name, but he's the same guy that played the villain in Roadhouse. So if you've ever seen Roadhouse, he's the main, he's
the big guy sitting next
to God, I can't think of his name now. The villain in Roadhouse. Anyways, he's the one that has like the awesome fight with Patrick Swayze towards the end of the film, just before he has to face off against the other guys. Jimmy, his name was Jimmy.
Okay.
And he's the one he rips Jimmy's throat out at the end of the fight.
You're talking about the big guy next to Fichtner, right?
Yeah, like with the grayish, like the salt and pepper kind of flat top haircut. I'd look up his name, but I'm not gonna do it. But anyways, that is the villain from Roadhouse.
There's a friend of mine from my Disney days. He got a dog a couple of years ago and named it Dalton. And I was like, oh, like Roadhouse? And he's like, yeah.
So wait, was it not actually Roadhouse, or was he just trying to be cool?
No, he was a big fan of Roadhouse, so he named his dog Dalton.
Oh, he was just surprised you knew it?
Yeah.
I remember when we were about to name my kid, I was talking with like my ex-wife and we were thinking of names. I was like, well, maybe Dalton. She's like, I like Dalton. But I was kind of averse to it because I was like, well, what if he's like kind of a pussy? Like, he shouldn't be named Dalton. Because your name is Dalton, that's a hell of a legacy to live up to.
You got James Bond and Swayze. Now here, Bruce Willis is spending a little too much time.
Yeah, that's some creeper level shit.
I mean, if I caught a glimpse of that, I would have just immediately walked the other way.
Or you would have walked directly toward, like, hey!
Yeah, you either interrupt it or you just accept the fact that your baby girl's all grown up.
Get away from her! But, you know, again, like, it's one of those situations where, you know, I guess I can, as a parent, but I don't have a daughter. You have a daughter, so, you know, my girlfriend has daughters, so often I think of them as kind of my daughters in that way. But, you know, it's a difficult thing, you know. I get it. I understand like that protective father kind of thing with a daughter. And I think really I think the biggest thing, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I mean, you probably thought about it more than I have, but you want to protect your daughter from the worst of men. right?
Yes.
I think that's ultimately what it is. It's not that you don't want your daughter to like be in love or to even have sex or whatever the case may be at that point in time. It's you just don't want her to get caught up with those douchebags that you know for a fact exist. And I think that's I think that's where that protective thing comes from. It's not a case of I don't want my daughter to be with anybody. It's just that you don't want them to be with that really bad somebody that you know exists out there.
Because you know all those guys.
Yeah, like you know, there's guys that like that, even guys that were your friends.
You're friends with all those guys.
You're like, I wouldn't want my friend here to like be around my daughter. Like, you know, that would be fucking crazy, you know. So I think that's where that whole thing comes from.
Now, do they ever go into detail about how long they spend training? Because this is a long ass time for all this training. For
they might have. I probably missed.
End of the world is imminent.
I know, right? You have 7 months. What? I can't imagine it would be very long, to be honest, though. But they have covered. But you know, first off, the whole premise is implausible, right? An asteroid the size of Texas is going to hit Earth. There really is nothing you can do about that.
Right. Well, no, you can blow it up and split it in half.
Like you can
Have you not been
blow it into smaller pieces that will hit Earth and still have the same effect. Like, you know, that's a die-in place kind of thing. It's like, hey, you know, just go, you got 5 days, go enjoy your life until you're dead. Yeah, I don't. I think that's where, you know, you run into the issues of like spectacle entertainment like this. Is you have to suspend disbelief. And, you know, people tend to use that moniker of turn your brain off. I hate that. I hate that saying. I hate it. I don't ever turn my brain off. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. But you do have to suspend disbelief and be able to enjoy a movie while accepting the boundaries.
Exactly.
That they put forward.
I have no problem doing that.
Right. And neither do I. You know, there's certain movies where, you know, just if there's a movie where somebody says, hey, you just need to shut your brain off. I'm like, just shut the fuck up. I'm not shutting my brain off. Okay. Like my brain doesn't have a shut off function. It continues to work no matter what. So, you know, but it helps. I think everything comes down to just being convincing.
Yes.
Right? And I think Armageddon is very convincing in that it puts them through this training. I think it'd be more unconvincing if they did nothing, right? Like if they went from, okay, we'll do it, and then cut right to them getting in the rocket ship. You'd be like, wait a minute, they're good?
But yeah, within the context of this movie and the rules of this Michael Bay universe, this movie works very well.
Yeah. It really does. It's, you know, it checks all the summer blockbuster boxes. And the good thing is too, is that, you know, you do have these, like an interaction like this, right? This does build up to the end. Yep. You know, this is a moment that will pay off later in the film.
Yep.
And, you know, credit to, I mean, shit, they had like 12 people writing this fucking thing, so they better have it come together, right? But they do drop in some good, you know, little payoff nuggets that come about. So it's actually kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of a miracle that Armageddon makes as much sense as it does with that many writers, shot in 16 weeks. Armageddon is kind of a miracle movie. I'm not calling it high art. I think it's high gloss art.
High gloss for sure. I mean, and this is kind of like
look at that shot right there. I just look at that.
It's amazing.
It's a beautiful shot. You know, it's like
it's probably shot in a totally different set on a different day. Like, but like, what was it? It was 2 years prior, right? You had Independence Day, you had Twister, you had like Jurassic Park had already come out, and I think Lost World was about to come out. Was that 97? Yeah. So this was kind of like the start of like mega high budget CG. Look what we can do with computers kind of filmmaking. And again, for 16 weeks, like, I don't know how many of those weeks were post, you know, but
I mean, it is a hell of a feat, you know, to pull off something like this. Look at that. I mean, a shot like that, right? Like, you know, again, that's just somebody that understands how to shoot. As silly as this dumbass scene is, where he's walking animal crackers into her panties, like, it's pretty dumb.
That actual location was used in a Dos Equis Christmas commercial a number of years ago.
Oh, really?
Where it's just the shot, that like almost that same shot, and then like you hear like somebody whistling like a Christmas song, And then
And then
it was
somebody
Corona.
putting-
It wasn't Dos Equis, it was
Oh,
Corona.
it's Corona.
And then like lights pop up on that tree, and then it's like that's the end of the commercial. You're
Did
like,
they put
"That's the
Corona in
place for
some chick's
Armageddon."
panties?
This.
The gazelle.
But you're right. This is like Michael Bay doing Titanic. Like
Yeah, it is.
this is
And
how
apparently all this stuff
young
was
lovers
added, you know.
connect.
Yeah, this is what they do. They just
Take
walk in
notes.
with crackers.
This is how you get the girl.
This is how you do it. Always have a box of animal crackers with you. You just never know when you're going to need them. Be ready. Ask for consent first and then get to work with your animal crackers. Here it is. Like a gazelle.
I'm gonna eat chocolate while we watch this.
Also, she's wearing white panties and a black bra. So this is
That would never happen.
that's definitely an oil rigger's daughter. Finally, some truth.
That shot always bugged me, even to this day, because she's looking too far off camera.
She is kind of. She's like looking over his head.
I know. Yeah,
She's stroking the clouds in the sky.
that's one of the random things that stand out in this movie that I always remember. Like, oh yeah, the scene where Liv Tyler's like not looking at him.
Why is he picking her up? I don't get it. I just want to hold you and spin around.
Again, that's how you get the girl. Pick them up and spin.
I mean,
them around.
he just did all that work to like get into her pants. Here we have
there-
Judith Hogue. This is
Yeah.
April O'Neil from the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Damn
Little
right.
trivia for you. Super sexy.
Yeah,
If I had to choose between her and Liv Tyler, I would take Judith Hogue. I'm just saying.
absolutely. I did a commentary track with Zaki Hassan and Brian Hall with Ninja Turtles
Oh, nice.
sometime last year.
That'd be
That
fun.
movie still holds up as just a great, fun adaptation of that.
I'm not even bullshitting you. I watched it like 3 days ago. Like I watch it once or twice a year. I love the first Ninja Turtles movie. The second one is pretty decent. I've never seen the third one, and I'm not really in a hurry to.
Third one's crap.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard it's like so bad. I'm just like, I just kind of want to just like love the first and second and be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so funny seeing Michael Bay's version of Judith Hogue versus the Judith Hogue of the Ninja Turtles, which she still looks good in that. Don't get me wrong. But like here, she's Bayified, right? Like with the lighting, the hair, the dress, the low camera angles.
Absolutely. Man, he composes a wonderful shot.
He really does. I mean, look at this. Like this is standard Bay, but like who else does it like this? Like that was in Jerry's Angels too.
Yeah.
I stole those shots. Jerry's Angels, for those of you who don't know, is my first movie that I made with my good friend Sean here. And it was actually really fun to make. It was just a blast to make that movie.
I think
And
I
it
stole
goes
some of
on.
these for the Sucker Punch and Leroy trailer.
Oh, nice.
Then I did too.
Good old Sucker Punch and Leroy. Michael Bay, of course, finds some bohemian models here too.
Hey, you want to be in my movie? Duh.
This guy's been in tons of Michael Bay movies as well. I don't know his name, but
yeah.
And then throughout the years, Michael Bay started, Michael Bay really, he got to know like military forces very well, working on the Transformers films and 13 Hours.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done a lot to like really showcase the military. And I respect that heavily. And I think 13 Hours is I told Michael Bay this too. I think it's his most genuine film. And he seemed kind of offended that I said that, but like, it's the truth. Like, I feel like 13 Hours is Michael Bay's most genuine, true to life, because it's based on a real life situation film.
Yeah. I think it's his most grown up movie. For
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, but he's done a lot, and he continues to use, a lot of different various military people throughout his films. And I'm glad, there's like a lot of, look, bottom line is Hollywood has, a very specific ideology that they lean towards.
Totally.
And it's nice to see when they're utilizing people that, come from another spectrum, another walk of life that doesn't get the time it deserves.
Absolutely. It's another reminder, like, this is horrifying. Like, all these people are gone. Like,
was that Japan or China? That looked like Japan.
China.
It was China?
Well, the subtitles said like Chinese.
Oh, okay. So that brace that they just showed on Billy Bob's leg, I didn't know this until today when I was reviewing some tidbits about to bone up on this movie, but it's part of Truman, which is Billy Bob's character's backstory. And that is that when he was younger, he was training to become an astronaut. And then he had, an accident, then he was injured. And so the only way he could continue to work for NASA was as in an administrative position. So that brace that was just shown was basically a tease to let you know that he had been injured. But the weird thing is, I just told you that, but watching the movie right now, they don't even explain all. No. Well, I guess they do. He said, I wanted to be one of those guys with a mission patch, but they don't really go into a lot of detail about that. He's just kind of like, I wanted to be an astronaut, but they don't really talk about the accident or his main backstory. It's just kind of
which would have worked. It would have been great because that was supposedly Billy Bob's idea too, right? Like he came up with that.
Yeah. Like he came to Michael Bay with a backstory. Yeah.
And that's a great backstory for that character.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it kind of like, it shows why he would give leniency, especially later on in the mission where, they're like, hey, just hit the button. And he's like, whoa, chill the fuck out. Like, let's just give these oil workers a chance. So my understanding is this launch that's about to come up was a real launch.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. Yes, I had no idea when I was watching it.
These are all legit affiliates and news crews and stuff like that, right?
Apparently,
they're basically just like a second unit, like running around out there getting all that stuff.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty dope. Gracie, I want to meet you in this weird Michael Bay place where we can have a chat.
Totally. It's like the Palace of Fine Arts in The Rock, right?
I mean, you feel like, exactly. You feel like they're just like Michael Bay is driving around scouting locations. Like, that's a good place for a father-daughter talk. But why would she be there? And why would he be there? It makes no sense that they would be in this location. Why the fuck are either one of them there? Hey, Grace, I want to talk to you later. Go meet me by that strange, rusted out structure. We're going to have a chat. Yeah. Like how nobody questions it though. Nobody says, why are they there? It's so funny.
That special place that neither of us have ever been to.
I want to meet you there. We're going to have a talk. It's like in the island. They drive. And then I'm pretty sure Michael Bay used those same locations in the Transformers movies where like those really kind of like run down, but really cool, like almost like Roman cathedral type buildings.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like plucked out of obscurity that they just happen to always run into these places. Nobody ever drives through a fucking Walmart. We just go through these like crazy places.
Yeah, it's a total.
Maybe this is. I mean, I just saw a plaque on the wall. It could very well be a place, a notable place. But even so, why are they there? Meet me at the. Oh, here it is. There it is. Fuck. Question answered. Apollo 1. Is it Apollo 1 Memorial? I guess so.
Shitty shape, man. They don't take care of it.
Can you guys go take care of that? Like Apollo 1 is a pretty important mission.
Yeah. Gotta write a strongly worded letter.
I was doing an Armageddon commentary the other day. I love these kind of montage preparation sequences. I love them. I love a slow-mo montage sequence. I will argue for that as being included in any film because
it's also so much fun. It's informative, it's cool, it's slick, but it's also tension building.
Absolutely. And it gives you a chance to kind of like put yourself in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Like we've all had moments in our lives where things seem to slow down and just like, dude, like you've heard it before, like, oh my God, dude, everything went in slow motion, and I feel like those types of moments would be that like, holy fuck, I'm getting ready to be launched into space, to land on a meteor, to drill into the meteor, to place nuclear weapons in there, get back on the spacecraft, fly home, blow up the meteor, and I hope that we did it fast enough. Yeah, things would go into slow motion before I got on that fucking ship.
It's the last chance any of these characters get to catch a breath, and it's really the last time the audience is going to get to catch a breath.
Oh, yeah.
At the very end.
Yeah, and this is, from this point on, from the second that they take off, everything just is breakneck pace.
You know what? I say it all the time when I see stuff like this. I wish people broke into song like in real life more often. I really do.
I've never seen that. This is where I think the disconnect comes between movies and real life. I've never witnessed such a thing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I've never seen it. I've never seen people just break into a random song.
I've always had the secret desire to like try it, but I've never got the balls to actually do it.
No, you did. I was there for it one time.
Yeah. Well, that. Wow. I haven't thought of that moment since that moment.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite memories. Oh my God. Look at my dog wants to fight with me. What do you want? What do you want? Come say hello to everybody. You're gonna be on the podcast. Look at
Oh, there he is. Don't eat me.
Why don't you leave me alone? I'm trying to do a commentary. So we were at where were we? Chicago Comic-Con? Where was it? It was something like that.
It was a con, yeah. I don't know if it was Comic-Con or was it.
Anyways, there's a bunch of hot girls there, and they were asking people. They were asking, I believe, people to come up and sing a song.
Yeah.
Like, first off, why are they doing that? And Sean grabs the mic, and he went up on stage, and you started singing "Big Booty Hose,"
complete with the bass riff too.
He goes, "Big Booty Hose, get with it." And then one of the girls started dancing. She started like, okay, I'm with it, and everybody else was like,
"The hell!"
And then it was like crickets, and then Sean just walked off the stage, and we were like, "Woo! Never gonna forget that one."
Oh man!
I just want to take the moment right now, Sean, to thank you for that memory because I enjoy that, and there's more than one time that I've thought of that and laughed out loud, probably just randomly driving in my car, thinking about Sean singing "Big Booty Hose" to a bunch of girls.
Oh, wow!
Oh my God! Lucky, fuck off! What's the like fight? No, go lay down.
Now, IMDb pointed out like it's shots from all these different countries from all around the world, yet it's daytime everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like that's not how time works, you know.
That's not how it works, Michael Bay.
I always love these shots because I'm like, okay, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, there's 14. There's 14 left. Okay. I
just love those shots.
I'm the kind of movie watcher, like I like to keep track of like in these movies where they become like ducks on a pond where like by the end, you know, you're only gonna have like half of them come home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not daytime in India when it's daytime in the United States.
Yeah. And so apparently if they did this, the two launch sites would be like 3 miles apart. They wouldn't be right next to each other.
Okay.
You guys over there, you guys over there.
Oh my God. Did you hear that?
I do.
That's my dog.
I love it.
I'm sorry to my podcast, or to, I keep saying podcast, my commentary listeners.
Don't apologize.
Come here. Give me that.
Real life interruptions are precious.
Honestly, I would rather listen to like commentaries where like, Ben Affleck's dog is like being ridiculous. Like that would be hilarious, right?
Yeah.
I realize I'm not Ben Affleck, but it would still be funny to hear like, real life stuff happening rather than, I showed up in a booth for fucking Touchstone and recorded some shit about Armageddon. Rather than like, I hit record at home and there's a bunch of crazy shit. Lucky, stop it!
It's Ben Affleck, by the way. Hello.
Ben Affleck? You dumb fuckers.
Paul, I'm pretty sure it's Ben Affleck.
Listen, I'm 20. I'm 20.
You know, you're not him.
I'm 22. Shut up. I know everything.
And we really did think we knew everything, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, life taught us different, didn't it?
Here's the old man portion of the commentary. Man.
There's like some 20-year-old dudes like, what the fuck are these assholes talking about, you fucking boomers?
I was trying to think, did we meet right after this movie? Was it the fall of 98?
It had to have been pretty. Yeah, it was. It was close to this because that's when I started WDCB, the TV station.
Because you also worked in a video store, right? Is that how you got the Armageddon banner or no?
I don't know where the fuck I got that, but it's hanging up in my room right now. In my office, rather. I don't know where I got that. No, I got it. I think I got that out of Entertainment Weekly.
I was telling the audience the first time I ever went over to your house, you had the giant banner hanging up in your room, and I was like,
yeah,
this guy's cool.
I put it up in my office again. I found it, and I've kept it for years and years. And I found it. I was like, oh, hang that shit up.
We like the same stuff. All right,
we're gonna be buddies. Yeah, I remember. Actually, I remember the first time I met you. You came to the TV station, and you were there to see Zachy, and you had a Victoria's Secret bag with like a birthday present for him.
Yep.
And I was like, who's this guy with a Victoria's Secret bag? What the fuck's going on here? And then I stole you from Zachy.
You sure did, yeah. And then he stole me back.
Zachy, if you're listening, I'm sorry. Zachy used to get very possessive about the friendships. Like when I started dating Barb, I remember he got very mad.
Well, and this is a story that I tell Zachy all the time too. Like there was when we were working at Downers Grove for the TV station, I think Zachy came one evening and he showed up with the vest and he had like a cool haircut and stuff. It was like this transformation mode. Do you remember that?
The vest. Gosh, it sounds vaguely familiar.
Zachy showed up with a cool vest and a cool new haircut, and it was like this transformative moment where it's like, whoa, you're like late 90s Zachy.
For those that are listening, Zachy Hassan, you can find him on Twitter. He's a great critic, and he's a good voice in the film community and one of our best friends. Great guy.
Great guy.
Just a great guy.
He's got a hell of a beard going on right now too. You guys with your long hair and your beards, you guys.
You know, I grew my hair out. I decided 2 years ago I was going to grow my hair out. I was like, I'm going to go full Momoa, and I did. I grew it all the way out to that length, and then I recently had it trimmed. But you know, I'm in my 40s, man. Like, kind of just embracing the fact that I can have long hair and it doesn't look awful. Like you see those guys with really long hair that's like gray and they always put in a ponytail. It's like, dude, if you can pull it off,
yeah.
Why not pull it off? You know, well, you can. I know my girlfriend would love for me to cut it, but she's just gonna have to deal.
I do the beard like once or twice a year, but the long hair, I always chicken out at some point where I'm like,
well, that's the trick. That's the trick with long hair is that you've got to brave the shit stage because there's always a shit stage with long hair.
Oh yeah.
So anybody that's out there, if you're listening, you're thinking about growing your hair long, just listen. You got to get past that shit phase. There's gonna be a phase where your hair looks like shit. Just wear a hat, wear a fucking knit cap or whatever. But once you get past it, it's like, oh, yeah, there it is. But it does take time. It took me, about 1.5 years to get to where I wanted it.
Oh.
And now I'm at, 2 years and I can't, just cutting it. I feel like I'll cut it and I'll be like, God damn it. Why did I do it? And you can't just grow back in a day. So.
See, like high school Sean would have killed to have 42-year-old Sean's hair, minus the gray. And now it's just like I got the cool wavy wispy crap going on whenever I want, and it always looks kind of.
You think about how much time we spent fixing our hair back then?
My God!
I mean, it's literally a line in my first movie. It's like, you know how long it takes to fix our hair, like, and that's true. Like, I spent so much time like styling it and putting it into little spikes and shit. Now I'm just like, I brush it back.
Just right. Yep.
It's all good. Old man hair, the commentary. I thought we were talking about Armageddon. Bruce Willis does not have. Has Bruce Willis ever done a long-haired movie? I think Bandits. Didn't he have like longer hair in Bandits?
Maybe
that awful Barry Levinson movie with Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, and
there's Peter Stormare.
Hello.
I love Peter Stormare. He's also in Bad Boys 2. He was also in Fargo with Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, he's the guy that sticks Steve Buscemi in the wood chipper.
Yeah. The Russian space station. So I read this. This is the Mir space station, a Russian space station.
Right.
I didn't know that it was no longer out in space.
Oh, neither did I.
But apparently it crashed into the Pacific Ocean many years out. I think it was out there for 15 years. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But eventually crashed down into the Pacific Ocean, and now we have the other space station out there. But so that is a real space station.
How do you recall a space station and have it not like crash into the middle of Manhattan or something?
I don't know. I always think about that, right? Like, I mean, listen, they're smarter people than me and you. Let's be honest in terms of like space flight and shit like that think about these things, and they, put two and two together, and they're like, well, if we do this, they're like, it will crash in the Pacific Ocean. Like, if you ask me, I'd be like, fuck, I don't know how to keep it from crashing in the city. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing.
Because I
I
always think of the scene from Apollo 13 where the guy is explaining their reentry and how they basically have to hit something on the surface of a basketball that's the width of a piece of paper. Like, that's the thin exact point that they have to pass through. Otherwise, they ricochet off the atmosphere and get lost in space.
So wild.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I've had kind of an astronaut kick of in the last year and a half, and I don't know what kicked it off. Like, I don't even know why I started reading the right stuff. I was just, for whatever reason, I was curious. And I think that, like, in another life, if I were to reset and restart in my 20s, I would pursue being an astronaut, if not my art and writing like that I do now. But
right.
I just find the whole astronaut thing fascinating.
Oh yeah.
And to travel to space, I don't know, man. I think it's one of the most heroic things you can do to explore your world, and not only your world, but beyond your world. Like, that is amazing. I think we don't give enough. We don't make heroes out of our astronauts enough, and not to get, I don't want to get political here, but I mean, the day that SpaceX and NASA launched a first manned flight out again, heading to the space station, was the day that George Floyd riots sparked, and that launch got totally just buried in the news. But it was a tremendous thing, and I was like, "Fuck!" Talk about bad timing.
Yeah.
But this is, it is what it is. It's the way the world works. Sometimes people place precedence over one thing over another, but like, that's a huge thing. And I find space, all aspects of space travel and space flight, just fascinating as shit. And I would love to be a part of that ride, but I'm just, I'm too old now. That's the way it is.
I mean, I think we'll get there someday. I think we'll get to, like, Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek vision someday, where we're exploring other worlds.
I mean, we'll be dead, but yes.
We'll be long gone. But yeah. Now, you can't actually have gravity on
a space station.
Right?
To my knowledge, no, you cannot. And the current space station they have now, there is not gravity. They are floating around. So I think probably this is all created for budgetary reasons. I mean, they're like, we cannot have people floating through this fucking thing. So we're gonna have to make up some bullshit. And listen, I forgive it. I do. I don't take it. Like, where did Ben Affleck get that hat? I don't know. So just crazy. And I love Storm. And like, Stormare is just such a fucking lunatic in this movie. He's just like, and here, this is the thing, is like, what always bothered me when I first saw this is like, dude, these guys that are oil drillers are on a fucking space rig, and there's never a moment where anybody stops to like look out a window and just look at space. And this is what Michael Bay was talking about. He's like, every time they get somewhere, I just want everything to go wrong. So just watch. Look at there, like Ben Affleck pulling that cable off. Already you have a leaky pipe. Now he just yanked that off, and you're just gonna see everything just go to shit.
Yeah.
And it continues to go to shit from this point on. Every time they land, as soon as they get to the asteroid, one of the ships blows up, right? Like, one of the ships goes down.
Yep.
And they finally land. Everything starts going wrong, one after another. Just continuous. It's crazy. Shit. I've killed my second drink. Sean, do you have more drinks, or are you just sticking with the one?
No, I got the.
You got like a whole pitcher?
I got wine now.
Oh shit, he's moving on to wine.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the Armageddon sours. Actually, I just love. What's crazy is like the Armageddon commentary worked out perfect to do an Armageddon sour, because I've been drinking amaretto sours a lot for whatever reason. Like, normally I'm drinking Mai Tais and shit. Like, all my drinks are just fucking, they gotta be crazy mixed cocktails. This is where I've been. That's just where I'm at in life. It's cocktail time. Look at this, they just destroy the Mir space station. Michael Bay's like, fuck it, we're gonna blow it up. We're blowing up the whole fucking space station.
Now, that actress that plays the the female pilot there. My wife and I got into this show. It's like a feel good sort of CW-esque, family drama about like life on this like horse ranch and stuff like that, set up in Canada. It's basically just like you're looking at postcards, beautiful postcards. It's called Heartland. But she showed up in that, and I was like, is that the same? Was she one of the pilots in Armageddon? Yeah, same. I think Jessica Steen.
Jessica something, yeah.
Steen, I think, or Stein or something like that.
She's got beautiful blue eyes, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, piercing.
Like, it's just hilarious. Like, that they get to the space station. There's never a moment that they take to just soak in the fact that they're in space.
That part's in the trailer, right? Storm air banging on the window.
Yep. There's actually a lot of Storm air stuff that I thought was Bruce Willis stuff. And I remember seeing the movie and I was like, oh man, I thought that was the hero doing that. And it was actually Storm air that got all these cool hero moments that I thought were Bruce Willis. Like the part where he's like on top of the armadillo and he's going, yeah. I thought that was Bruce Willis. Like, oh man, I can't wait for that part. Then I saw the movie, I was like, oh, that's fucking Peter Stormare doing that. God damn it. And then there's a part from the trailer that's not in the film and has not been released in any version that I'm aware of, where Bruce Willis goes, do you think I'm going to quit? We never quit, or something like that. And I remember like, oh my God, I can't wait to see that part. It doesn't happen. It's not in the movie. And I'm so mad that it's not. And it's him basically yelling at the asteroid. He's like, yelling at we're not going to quit. I was like, God damn, I can't wait to see that fucking part of the movie.
I forgot all about this freezer thing.
Nope, you don't get to see that part because we're not including it. I mean, ultimately, this going wrong is what saves Ben Affleck and the Russian cosmonauts' life.
Yeah.
Because it ends up putting them on a different ship, right? And so something.
Yeah. The other ship crashes, right?
And they get on, they get in the Armadillo. Like something, I think that's the case. Fuck, it's been a while. I'm speculating. Also, how are they tracking them? Do they have trackers on them? Like that's just some fucking random, it's like the Avengers movies where they're all talking to each other all across the battlefield.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, just hold your hand up to your ear like you have some kind of crazy earpiece. But you never once see in any of the Avengers movies, you never once see them put their earpiece in. Right. Like, hey, can everybody hear me? Let's do an audio check. Nobody does. They're just like, you just get out there and they're like, yeah, you just talk to each other. There's comic books, bro. Don't worry about it. Bye, Mirror Space Station.
Jeez.
Jesus. Also, there's no explosions in space. In case anybody knows that, it's not possible.
Michael Bay basically was just kind of like, fuck it.
He's like, most people don't know that. He's like, most people don't know that you can't have explosions in space, so we're gonna have explosions in space. And you have, like George Lucas has made it popular with Star Wars, which is like massive sound effects and explosions and craziness in space, but there are no explosions in space. But if you ever want to see great space carnage shown in a realistic way, the Sandra Bullock movie. Why can't I think of the title?
With Clooney.
My brain's not working.
My God, wasn't in that movie.
Look at that. We're old.
I keep saying Castaway.
There's people yelling at us right now listening to this. They're like, you fucking idiots.
We don't hear you. Keep yelling.
Why can't I think of
Sandra Bullock.
No, I'm looking.
Who's going to get there? Gravity.
God
Jesus.
Damn it. We're old.
That was a good movie.
I liked it. You know what? I can't watch it at home though. I watched it twice in theaters and it was such an amazing experience.
Oh, it's a great,
And I can't even bring myself to watch it at home. I'm like, I don't want to watch Gravity at home. Like that really was a great IMAX film experience. It was awesome.
So white knuckle ride.
Just a beautifully made film. And now they're flying around the moon. I'll give you guys a little moon trivia there. So you see all those little dark specks on the moon, those little dark spots, they're called Maria, which is also the name of my girlfriend.
Wait, so that like collectively they're just known as Maria?
Yep, they're called Maria.
Interesting.
So I'm homeschooling my kid this year. I learned so much random shit. It's crazy. I'm just like, what the hell? It's funny when you're actually homeschooling somebody, you find out how much you didn't know. and how much you weren't taught in school. Look at now, she's wearing another Japanese style dress or Asian style dress.
She's got.
Like,
Well, they have those on stock at NASA for family members.
We understand you probably don't have your wardrobe here, but we do have an Asian inspired wardrobe for all females. And I always found it very disappointing that Owen Wilson dies before he even gets a chance to get on the rock. Like, again, I feel like they killed off some of the wrong people.
And he had
should have killed off Steve Buscemi.
He was a big star at the time. You can't do that.
Yeah.
There's certain rules you got to play by, man.
Calm your ass. I guarantee you, though, if Owen Wilson were a bigger star at that time, it would have been a different story.
Well, almost, because what he was it Bottle Rocket? Did that come out at the same time?
Pretty close. Yeah, I think Bottle Rocket is what got him hired with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Bottle Rocket that got him hired for this. And then
that was also a Disney-funded movie, right? Was that Touchstone as well?
I believe so, yeah. Wes Anderson's first movie. I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan. I know some people are not, but
he's great.
I fucking love Wes Anderson movies. Hope I get to see his new one sometime this year, given the pandemic, but we'll see.
It'll happen. That's a big asteroid.
That is a big asteroid.
I think that's the first time we actually see it from behind. Like, it's always been from Earth's point of view, kind of.
Yeah.
We see that thing approaching Earth. That's
flying right up its booty hole.
Yeah.
It's funny. So we talked about Deep Impact earlier, which is the competing asteroid disaster movie.
Right.
It's amazing how vastly different the two movies are.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and Bruce Joel Rubin was the writer on Deep Impact, who also wrote Ghost and My Life and all these other movies that just literally punch tears out of your face. And Deep Impact is very similar in that sense, where like the astronaut stuff, they have like that James Horner score that's like just pinging at your emotions and like, oh, Jon Favreau, or not Jon Favreau.
Favreau.
The other. No, I know, but there's the other actor who goes blind because he like looks at something when they're on the asteroid.
Oh,
and he's like, I can't see my baby, but I'm gonna say bye to my baby over the camera before we decide to fly, because they have to make the decision to kill themselves and fly into the asteroid.
Yeah.
Everything is like super hyper, overly dramatic.
Like Téa Leoni going to meet her dad on the beach, and they get
she's like, Daddy, I love you, and we're just gonna die here on the fucking beach. They didn't have to, but they're like, all right, I guess I'll just die. And then the scene with Elijah Wood taking the baby and riding off on a motorcycle.
I'm gonna ride up this mountain and outrun this tidal wave.
And then the James Horner music playing, and just like, and then everybody's just bawling. Armageddon plays it way more subtle, but still, like I'll say, the moment, at the end of this movie gets me too every time, where it's not so much that I'm like bawling, crying, but you definitely feel it, because you do.
Absolutely.
Even through all the cheesiness of this movie, all of the silliness, you still feel for these characters. Like you get to know them. It's a 2.5 hour long movie.
Well,
you spend some good time with them, and you get to know them and care about them.
Shout out to casting people too, who probably don't get enough, nearly as much credit as they deserve, because I know directors have hands in it too. But like, you think of like The Rock, another Michael Bay movie, when Michael Biehn and that team, they go in through the showers and then they basically get annihilated. You feel bad for those guys.
You do. Well, and you're right. Like, there's the fact that they have Michael Biehn, who I love.
Yeah,
we love Michael Biehn.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh fuck, like you don't want him to die. Just like.
Yeah.
He's a character that you love, and you hardly know him, but you're like, man, what are you doing?
And this here, like you've hardly really spent any time with this sort of supporting cast here, but like, they're all like likable enough personalities that you feel bad.
Exactly. Yeah. They're friendly. They're personable. Mm-hmm. We've seen at least pieces of their lives enough to give a shit about them and what happens to them. And you can't, I can't sit there and be like, oh, I hate that guy, I hope he dies. Like, I don't feel that about any of these characters.
Yeah. Those two pilots getting sucked through the
dude from Ginny from Roadhouse getting sucked out. That sucks.
Oh, poor guys.
Sean's very upset about this. God damn it.
That was like a thing too, like late 90s. I remember it was in one of the Star Trek movies, and then also like Deep Blue Sea, where it's like we'll just like make a computer version of this character and have him floating around out there. Yeah, it was a great shot.
Yeah, the shot of Affleck with the sparks reflecting through his helmet. I mean, that's great Michael Bay stuff right there.
Yeah. I mean, this
like these small little shots that he gets. I often wonder. I was like, does Michael Bay? Like, I mean, I'm an artist. You're an artist. We're both visual storytellers in that way. There's certain things that I know that I want to capture. I'm like, this is really what I want to see. And sometimes you just have to wonder, like, how much is captured on purpose versus how much is captured on accident.
Yeah. I mean, look at all this is all shot on blue screens and stuff like that. The inside, the interior,
crazy, dude.
And they're just shaking cameras, and the composition work looks great. It's a lot of lights.
Yeah, again, I mean, the things that Michael Bay can accomplish with some fucking clever lighting and shaky camera, like, is better than what most people can capture with anything. Just a simple shot, even like that. These close-ups, these tight close-ups. Yeah. And I remember seeing the trailer for Bad Boys before it came out. And I remember seeing that trailer and thinking immediately, I was like, this movie looks fucking amazing. I was noticing the camera work, the action. I was like, this looks like Tony Scott. I thought it was Tony Scott for a second.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this looks amazing. And then I was like, who directed this? And then, you find out it's Michael Bay. And like, that was, I from Bad Boys, I was a Michael Bay fan. I was like, what is this guy doing next?
Yeah.
And even up till now, like, look, I even reviewed 6 Underground, which is an assault on the senses. That's very Armageddon-esque. It's not a great movie. It's a mess, but it has got like so much like Michael Bayhem craziness in it that you just love. Like, it's the characters and everything are pretty silly and goofy, but everything is dialed to a fucking 11. And I love that,
Remember that Two Guns movie with
I like Two Guns.
It's not a Tony Scott movie, but it looks like a Tony Scott movie.
Yeah, I actually quite like Two Guns. Well, I love Denzel, and Wahlberg's okay. But yeah, Two Guns was fun.
Let's see, who directed Two Guns?
It was, I can't think of his name, but he's like a foreign dude. I can't think of his name, though. I think he did Contraband, if I'm not mistaken.
Balthazar Kormacor.
Did he not do Contraband?
Let's find out.
Pretty sure he did Contraband.
He looks like a character in a Michael Bay movie. Let's see, he did Adrift, Everest, Trapped.
Oh, he did Everest.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know
something called The Oath, The Good Spy, Contraband.
Oh, I didn't know he did Everest. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So here we are. The one ship has landed, and already Rockhound is a fucking liability. Like, shut the fuck up, rock band. Rock band.
Shut up, Guitar Hero.
I just call them rock band. I'm gonna call it rock band from now on. It's like, shut up. This is the part where they're trying to be like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, but he's like just obnoxious about it. He's like, we're all gonna die. Here's the special rock stuff I know.
All right, so Rockhound is what, like the geology?
Yeah, the geologist guy.
Okay.
I guess. Why do you need a geologist for oil drilling?
Yeah, right.
On a rig, I guess. I mean, maybe that's obvious to people that know more about it than I do. I really don't know.
Reading some of what are classified as goofs on IMDb, like there was somebody pointed out that like they shouldn't have used a steel-headed drill. They should have used like a bronze-headed drill or something like that. So because it's like gas and they don't want to start fire. And whenever I read notes like that, I just picture like the like some like computer nerd from South Park, just like point of order. That's a steel-headed drill, and you shouldn't.
Yeah, there's absolutely some stuff that I see like that.
It's like, just let it go. Oh, there's Owen Wilson.
Oh,
there he is.
Man, no wedding crashes for you, bitch.
I mean, I just got here, and gosh, I grew up already.
Have you ever seen Star Wars? Who dies in Star Wars?
I mean, gosh.
Ben Affleck is this is where he shows like some good crying chops.
He's a good like
You know,
like
say what you will
rage
about
behind the
Affleck.
pain. Yeah.
Yeah, he's, and I haven't seen his latest A Way Back. And to be quite honest with you, the reason I don't want to watch is because I know that part of the pain that that character is dealing with in that movie is the loss of a child, and that just fucks me up. I don't want to watch that.
Oh, thanks.
And I do appreciate it, but I mean, look, when you have kids, you don't want to watch movies about people that lose kids because it's hard enough keeping those motherfuckers alive. So
yeah,
you'll have to forgive us if we don't want to watch a movie about that. It's hard enough. Just when you're a parent and you have children, you see it's a life of constant worry.
Yes,
but yeah, Affleck really shows, I think in this movie, a silly, cheesy, spectacle driven summer movie. In any other type of film, like you would, you feel that. This is, I appreciate a sequence like this, right? It's like a slow-mo. They're walking out onto it and they're actually looking around like, whoa, like, holy shit.
Yep.
Like those are moments that you needed more of that in this movie. More of like, holy shit, we're in space. Holy shit, we're on a space station. Holy shit, we just landed on a fucking asteroid.
So there's two rovers, right? Each with a drill, right? That's the deal.
Yeah. 2 armadillos.
Armadillos, man.
Get the name right, Sean.
Shut up. Iron ferrite.
All right, I'm gonna make another drink since you're smarter than me and you already have your wine ready.
Oh yeah.
So Sean, you're in charge till I get back.
All right, sir.
I'll be right back.
Gonna invite all my.
I'm an old man. This is just the way it works.
Invite all my friends over. Come on, Dad's away. All right, so here we're establishing the stakes here. Got to drill X amount of feet, otherwise you can't do it and you're screwed. And what they didn't take into account here is that maybe the drill's not powerful enough for, I don't know, some Michael Bay logic. Where did Steve Buscemi get that ridiculous eyepiece? That was so weird. Like, what? Why does he have that? And how did he get one that's like properly fitted to a giant space helmet? Anyway. Here we go. I know this guy bites it at some point. I forget if it's here. Again, it's been a long time. The guy who's not one of the Murray brothers. All right, so it's destroying the drill. Can't do it. Something's wrong. It's a cool set right there. Back when movies were actually filmed on sets. Now it would just be a giant green screen with green blocks that would be composited into props later on. Doesn't matter what the movies are, man. Something about these mission control sequences, always cool. Monitors and a bunch of people in white collared shirts with headpieces running around, acting like it's the worst day of their life. It's always a tension builder. Back when TVs were square, man. I'd be curious if anybody out there knows what mission control at NASA actually looks like. I know there's conflicting reports, like they show this kind of stuff in movies, and then you don't know what's actually there because they don't want you to see what it actually looks like. Somehow it would be revealing secrets or something like that. Was there a reason that thing's got a freaking machine gun mounted to it? I mean, that's who'd they think they were going to run into up there? Oh my God, the freaking editing here. It's like, I'm going cross-eyed right now. Oh, hey, Paul.
All right, I'm back.
Was there a reason that these things need these giant machine guns mounted to the front of them?
Do you not need machine guns in space?
was it in case they had to shoot their way out of the spaceship hole? Or
I don't even think they even mentioned it. They're just like, I think Michael Bay probably just was like, we need a fucking Gatling gun.
I was saying, like who do they think they're going to run into up there? Cobra.
What if there's an alien invasion? Like, well, do we have miniguns? Can we just give them miniguns?
I think when you edit this, you're just going to have to like throw in some laughter because I was just talking.
Oh, wait, I'm not throwing in laughter. The viewers supply the laughter.
Oh, man.
As long as you were hilarious.
Meh. I was just pointing shit out. Anyway, who's that guy with the hair?
I don't know.
Does he look familiar? Not that guy.
He does. But I don't know who he is.
That guy looks like Robin Williams' stunt double.
I miss Robin Williams.
Me too.
I was just thinking that the other day. I saw like for one, I watched Dead Poet Society, which is one of my top 5 all-time favorite movies. I watched it recently, and I had just seen like another movie had popped up with Robin Williams on the cover. He did a lot of movies towards the end of his career that kind of just he got washed over, but he did some really, really good ones. It's just a shame. I miss Robin Williams. Thanks for bringing that up, Sean.
Well, my kids are really into Mrs. Doubtfire. They love Mrs. Doubtfire, and that's a legit good movie. It's quirky and ridiculous, but it's got a lot of heart, man. And he is so good in that movie.
Oh yeah. I recently played it for my son for the first time. And I love it. It's silly. The ending is far too saccharine for me.
Yeah, I mean, how everybody basically gets their way.
Yeah, and he has like this big, like, kind of speech where I'm just like, too much. But it's just, I mean, it's a great little family movie. Yeah. I love how William Fichtner in this is like, first off, I just love William Fichtner, let me say. Mm-hmm. But I love how he is like, he's like a sensible, like NASA operator in that sense. You know, he's like, listen, motherfucker, you stupid hick drill working motherfuckers can't do the job.
So wait, is there a contingency? I forget, man. There's a contingency plan or something if they don't get far enough?
Yeah, the contingency plan is that there's a switch on Earth with NASA where they can hit the button
and just nuke the sucker.
And yeah. They could blow it up like right now.
Okay.
So he's like calling in that shit. He's like, they're about to hit the zero barrier.
Okay.
So it's like the break glass in case of emergency, like.
But still, they have time.
Here's Stamper. Hey, you sons of bitches! God damn! Hey, this is drilling. When it comes to drilling, sometimes it takes a little time. You just got to understand. We're drilling. We're drillers. This is what we do. Is we drill. And y'all big brains over there in NASA need to just chill out. Let's do our drilling.
But you need this scene. This is that obligatory, like, your team's falling apart up there.
No, exactly. This is like, it's check the block, summer blockbuster. You have to have this kind of drama. I think this movie, I'm not even kidding you, should be studied for that reason alone. Like, how to make a summer blockbuster movie. All the elements that you need, because this is, if anything, it's a template. Look, there's another countdown. Did I not say, listen, the countdowns have been shown up. You're going to keep seeing them more and more throughout the movie. It's not on accident.
You ever been to Washington, D.C.?
I was born in Falls Church, my friend.
That's right.
So
Falls Church, dude. That's right. Yeah.
Been to D.C. many times.
It's pretty incredible being there in person.
When did you just go recently?
No, I mean, I worked there the summer of 99 and 2000.
Did you? I didn't know that. Look at that. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I got family in Vienna, Virginia.
I love DC, man.
Me too.
It's a fucking train wreck right now, but I love how these bros are just waiting around.
Yeah, right.
A bunch of chair force nerds coming in.
Uh-oh.
Step away from the computer, sir. Like, okay.
What's it all mean?
Better listen to Keith David, god damn it. I want a t-shirt that says that.
Hands off my french fries. Okay.
Also,
now,
you get a gun.
Yeah. I love. Now, do you think in real life the envelopes are like so obviously labeled, like secondary protocol, emergency protocol?
Everything's fucked protocol. I just love that there's a gun in there in case someone gives you some guff. There's a gun in space.
I love how well lit the inside of that compartment was.
I know, right? So apparently,
yep,
according to trivia, this movie is shown in NASA in order to test people to, like, prospective NASA people to find all the mistakes. And apparently 148, I believe, was the number that have been found in watching Armageddon. Well, so it's actually used as an instructional film in that sense.
There you go. Here's what I was talking about. When you were away, I was talking about how much I love like mission control sequences in pretty much every movie.
Yeah.
Like the monitors and all the, the guys running around like it's the worst day of their life and stuff like that. It's all hell's breaking loose. But I remember reading about like with Apollo 13, like that is nothing what actual mission control looks like. And I know if you if you image search, you'll get some stuff that kind of looks like that, some stuff that doesn't. And I'm wondering if anybody knows, unless you actually work at NASA and you got high level clearance, but like, can anyone verify like what mission control actually looks like?
I mean, but they have cameras that are in mission control for NASA. Yeah. Like Houston, they have like the cameras. They have cameras from the Apollo 13 mission.
Is it that room? Is it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the documentary stuff you're talking about. That's right.
Yeah. Have you seen the Apollo 11 documentary?
No, man.
It is fascinating. I recommend anybody that's listening, watch Apollo 11. It's a documentary about that. And they filmed with cameras that were like basically HD back then. It is a marvel to watch because you're seeing this footage that you feel is like a movie that was made based on the production value, but it's literally just filmed it. Like, it's amazing. I could not recommend it enough. It is a fascinating watch.
Because I remember watching a behind the scenes of Enemy of the State, and there was like a military liaison or somebody. Maybe I don't know if he worked on the film or was just giving commentary in the film. But he was saying, he's like, yeah, the stuff you see in the movie, like we're like 10 steps beyond that in real life already. And he even referenced something about like NASA and like the space missions and stuff, how it's like not what you actually see. And then I live pretty close to the Ronald Reagan Library where there's replicas of Air Force One and Marine One. And when you go there, they even tell you, like, it's supposed to look like it did when Reagan was president, but they'll even tell you, like, it's kind of a facade. Like, we can't actually show you what it looked like when Reagan was president. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. I mean, I guess I've seen a few movies where they get military representations of actual battlefield things right.
Yeah.
But, just frequently it's very stereotypical rather than accurate. One of the most inaccurate war films I've ever made is an Oscar winner for Best Picture, and that's called The Hurt Locker. It is the most inaccurate modern war film I've ever seen. I talked to a buddy of mine who listens to my podcast, who was in Iraq with me, and I think it would be fun to do a commentary on The Hurt Locker with the two of us, because we've been there, we've gone through all that, and there's just so many glaring things to us. But I remember talking to our mutual friend Brian Hall, and he was like, I really liked Hurt Locker, but I don't know any of the details of like And I could see, and I thought about it. I was like, I guess I can see that if you don't know the difference.
Yeah,
you could watch Hurt Locker and enjoy it on even in just an emotional level. But there's so many things that happen in Hurt Locker that are just so blatantly stupid that
it's like
still work in the stereotype of a film. Say that. I'm sorry. Say that again.
It's like if you film it with a shaky cam, all of a sudden you just assume, oh, that's what it must be really like, man. It's gritty.
There's just so many. But I mean, there's just like silly details, like in Hurt Locker, the whole thing, like the fact that they're even using the EOD suit. EOD never uses those fucking suits.
Well,
they don't use them.
That's a big part of that movie.
Yeah, they don't use those suits. They just go out there and like kick the fucking bomb. It's crazy. Like they just don't use them. They're. I even tried one on. I tried one of the EOD had the suit out while I was in Iraq. And we tried, they're like, hey, you guys want to come try the suit on? And I was like, fuck, I'll try it on. Dude, you can hardly move in that thing. Like the scene where he's running at the very beginning, I'm like,
right.
How do you run in that thing? That's insane. That's not realistic. Oh boy, here we come. Oil driller Harry Stamper's like, we will make it.
I've never missed a depth.
So here we go, like 36 seconds, like everything is down to the wire at this point. Throughout the rest of the movie, everything is just, oh shit.
So this was another thing that IMDb pointed out. Like, so the pilot knows how to dismantle the bomb.
Listen, we already know you have the job of flying a fucking spacecraft onto an asteroid, but
maybe it's
not too much trouble. Can we teach you how to arm and disarm a nuclear weapon?
It's on another card with giant letters on it. So like, how to dismantle a bomb. Phase 3. Yeah.
And of course, it's got to be down to like 1 second.
That's funny. Like in real life, it's like, why would you close your eyes?
2 seconds. I don't know. I might.
If it's gonna blow, if it's gonna blow up, it's gonna blow up. But I love it.
It's funny. Actually, that does happen. So this is a war story. When I was in Afghanistan, I was placing a Claymore mine in 1A1.
Wow.
And
just that
we were setting in a position for the night because we were sleeping on some fucking random mountain in Afghanistan. And we had to set up the perimeter, right? So you've seen in movies where, people set up bombs. So I'm setting up a Claymore mine. And I put it in, and there's 2 blasting caps you have to insert into both sides. And you learn in basic training how to do this, right? But like you don't do it frequently enough that it's like that, sharp in your head. So I'm like,
right.
I think this one goes in first. And then there's like this thing, like if you put the other one in at the same time, or I don't even remember at this point, I think one or the other, that it'll just blow up. And, I'm like, I was told to go and place this mine. And I'm like, fuck, this is a live mine I'm setting. And I was like, and I screwed in the caps. And then I was like, whoo, well, it's good. And I had the blasting device and we had it set up. So I was like, oh, that's good. And then I was like, okay, so that's the end of it. Next morning I wake up, we got to move out. My team leader goes, Shirey, hey, go get that mine back. So I had to go fucking undo it, which is like even scarier because you have to take the blasting caps out. And I'm just like, it was the same thing again. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, fuck. And I'm like pulling the blasting cap out. Like, it's like Operation, right? You're playing Operation. You're like trying to like not touch the sides or anything. You're like, ooh.
Dude, I get that way, like jump starting a car battery. I cannot imagine an actual like bomb staring me in the face.
And what's funny is in basic training, when you do the Claymore stuff, because there's a whole, like they teach you the Claymore stuff. They take you out, they assemble you, and you're all standing there, and they're like, all right, everybody watch. And they blow up a fucking Claymore so you see what it does.
Wow.
And so, I just knew. Like, I always think of that. I could see the explosion in my head. If that were to happen, if it were to blow up, I was like, I would just be dead. Like, there's no like, oh, you'll be all right. It's like, no, you'd be dead. That would be the end. Tales from the battlefield. At least it wasn't on a fucking asteroid driving a giant truck. With a minigun on it.
Where Bruce Willis asks him, you got any more bullets left in that gun? That was a a goof that somebody pointed out because he never actually shoots the gun.
Well, he shot out to get out of there, but
Did he?
yeah, remember, like Affleck shoots it around the ship to get out of it.
The handgun. Bruce Willis turns to Fickner, and he's got because Rockhound's back there doing that dance. He goes, "Hey, you got any more bullets left in that gun?"
Like, well, I haven't shot any bullets, so.
Remember when William Fickner was at the beginning of Dark Knight?
Yeah, it was kind of odd.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
right?
Cool, he's in this movie, and
then that was it. Yeah, it's like, why is William Fickner in like a bit part in the Dark Knight? He should be like a star.
So it's just the three of these guys now, right? It's
Affleck, Michael Clarke, Duncan, and Stormare.
It's working.
It's just so silly. Like this whole. How the fuck are they going to find anything?
It's like, sure.
But you know what? Sure. You'll find them.
Love it. I love this stuff, man. This is like escapism at its
It is true. Yeah, truly. But the craziest thing is that it's easier to believe a superhero movie than it is this. Because at least with a superhero movie, like I feel like the level of suspension of disbelief can be expanded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, well, they have superpowers. Yeah. So you're like, okay, they have superpowers. But with something like this, they're like, no, but they're humans. You're like, wait just a fucking minute. They're humans? They're like, yeah, they're humans. We're like, I don't know about that.
All right, I got to break the seal. I'll be right back.
Do it.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, are you like opening what the fuck is he doing? The truth is, Peter Stormare's Russian character pretty much saves this entire mission. He saves these guys, and getting them and this stupid little ship back to the other team is paramount to all of this mission happening. And then when they're trying to take off, he saves the ship then. So when you really think about it, the bigger hero of this whole mission is Peter Stormare. Because nothing would have been possible without the Russian cosmonaut. It all would have just gone to shit. That would have been the end of it. And I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I see, and it showed, I believe it showed, Stormare holding on, hanging off the armadillo, and you're thinking like, this is a great hero moment. I'm thinking it's Bruce Willis or Ben Affleck, but no, it's Peter Stormare. And where is he now? Because that thing just cracked. Okay, there he is. All right, everybody calm down. Here comes part. I'm really a Russian hero, I told you. Here comes another. I thought it was Bruce Willis when I saw the trailer. He's like, yeah. Fucking love that scene. Like, I feel like that scene's kind of wasted. You need more barbaric yops in movies. We don't have enough of them. I don't know what's going on these days, but we need more barbaric yops. We're just not getting enough. And it's time
all right
to pay attention to that. Welcome back. Sean's back. Whew. I mean, we're old men. We got to make more drinks and we have to go pee. Who's watching a 2.5 hour long movie and not going pee?
Oh my God.
That sounds like torture to me. I recently took my son to go see Alien for the first time for him.
What do you think of that?
He loved it. He absolutely loved it. He's actually a huge Alien fan now. We watched Aliens last weekend, and he loved Aliens more, which I love more.
Me too.
But I think that's cool. Like, that makes me happy,
Yeah.
For those of you that have kids, as they get older, you get those moments where you show them a movie that you love, and it's like so much hangs in the balance when that happens. Just like, listen, we take movies personally.
We do.
And you dream about showing your offspring something you love. And there's like nothing more heartbreaking than one of your kids being like, I didn't fucking like it. It was a piece of shit or something to that effect. You know, they don't like a movie that you love, you know, and you're just like, God damn it. What the fuck? What happened? Where did I screw up as a parent? But
my kids are still at that age where like, because they're 8 and 6, almost 9 and 6, where they still kind of just like they like pretty much anything you put in front of them.
Yeah. Yep.
With some exceptions, but like, so we've shown them Goonies. They love Goonies. You know, Mrs. Doubtfire and the non-Murray brother. There he goes.
Oh, there it is. He's dead.
Murray.
Like he literally just gets fucking. Goodbye, Max.
Know, right?
I always thought like Steve Buscemi is just like so like fuck. I just heartless at this point. Bye, really Max. Is. Like, but he doesn't die
because he's like the.
And he comes back and they're like, "Oh, you're a hero." It's like, no, he ain't no fucking hero.
Because that's the gist, right? He kind of goes crazy up here.
Yeah, he gets what they call space dementia. So one thing I found interesting,
space madness.
Space madness. So one of the things I found interesting looking over some of the trivia was that one of the actual things that astronauts will do or are told to do or a tactic is if somebody goes fucking crazy in space on their team, is they do in fact use duct tape to tape them up.
Interesting.
Like that's a real thing. Like you think, oh, like they tape them up in this movie, of course, you know, whatever. It's kind of funny, but it's actually what they would do. Like everybody in fucking Levi's is going in the fucking bunker. If you wear Levi's, you can go in the bunker. Cabs are abandoned on the street. Why would they just abandon the cabs on the street? Here in Ireland, we go and we have an early funeral.
Drinking wine. See, they're having a good time. Going out and stop.
What's this fucking kid looking for?
I know the dad had this look like
daylight.
Right,
what are you?
Right, come
it's
on,
daytime. What the fuck are you looking for? It's your binoculars, you idiot.
Can we get in a storm shelter now? Stupid. Come on, let's go.
You gotta love this. Like Michael Bay's like, you know, there's been enough explosions. Let's fuck up Paris.
Yeah. Let's just destroy it.
I mean, seriously. Look at this. He just decimates it. Fuck you, Paris. Eat a dick. That's a great shot, though. I mean, it's fucking cool shot.
Again, this is like, let's see what we can do with computers, you know? I mean, that was Independence Day kind of started that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think people tend to forget how big Independence Day was in terms of effects and everything like that. It was like, holy shit. Like, and we hadn't seen anything like that since Star Wars, you know, because that was before the prequels and after the originals. And you're like, whoa, this is fucking amazing. Yeah, I remember telling a friend of mine, I was like, dude, it was like Star Wars. And he was like, no way, really? And he's like, oh, I'm about to go.
Well, this here we got, this is 1998, right? July 1st, 1998.
Yep, just before episode 1.
We had, at this point, we only had the good Star Wars movies that were.
Hey, I love the prequels. You calm down.
I know you do. We had.
What I hate is the sequels.
Let's see, 1998, I was a year removed from high school. I graduated in 97. You still had new episodes of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman were airing in 1998.
Oh my God, you're old.
You had, I think before this Aerosmith song topped the charts, it was Brandy, That Boy Is Mine.
Oh
my God. I looked up.
You're an old man.
Somewhere somebody owned a Toad the Wet Sprocket album.
That was me.
2 of us then. I remember like late 90s and early 2000s when I was in my like kick of buying these like UK import albums off of eBay and stuff like that. like weird bands like more Chiba. Like, it's like, no, you can only get it in the UK. That makes
me I got this new UK indie album.
And then Napster came into our lives. All those nights working at WDCB, those night shifts, just like using their internet to download Napster music.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah,
dude, the
see what you guys
90s really were. This really was an era of kind of innocence. Pre
Feels that way.
9/11,
Doesn't it? Feels that way.
you know, before because everything changed after 2001. Everything changed. You know, I remember before 2001 feeling like just really vibrant and hopeful and happy and just kind of like the world is my oyster. And like September 11th changed all of that for me in just a very, very impactful way. You know, changed my whole destiny. But you know,
I remember
before that time, like, you know, just like movies like this, like Armageddon and all these, you know, it was like these were just little pieces of inspiration that fueled my mind and my heart and my creativity.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is the world of possibility. And then like 9/11 kind of brought the world back down,
yeah,
you know, to like a grinding halt. And it was just kind of like, shit, what are your priorities here?
Yeah.
And that was just kind of where it changed it for me. But it's great to go back to movies like this and re-experience them and kind of feel those old emotions. And I think that's where movies like this really shine.
Not to get too, you know, too inside baseball, because I'm going to go down a road here where your audience is probably like, who the fuck cares? But like, you know, like we were these, you know, in our own minds, at least, we were these sort of burgeoning filmmakers, and we had these, you know, dreams and desires to be like the next big things that took over Hollywood. And we were making stuff like figuring out how to get it done well before the days of YouTube, where
dude,
and iPhones and stuff like that, where anybody could do it.
Dude, could you imagine what we would have been in this era now? The tools that we like. I mean, even earlier today, I was shooting on my iPhone a video that I'm making for my YouTube channel. I'm out just shooting with my fucking iPhone, you know, and a light kit and all this other stuff. And you know, I've never stopped doing it, but it's like anybody.
I mean, like, you know, it used to be we had to like go down to the station and get the DV
big
cameras,
old bulky cameras, got all the batteries to charge it.
Oh man. And the tripods, and lug all the gear and get the gels and ask somebody to be your boom operator and like all this stuff. And
I mean, listen to me. If you're listening to this right now and you have dreams of being a filmmaker, you don't have any excuses.
Just buy an iPhone.
Excuses
just
are done. You're fucking your entire production crew is in your fucking pocket.
Get a GoPro or an iPhone. Do it.
Dude, it's really truly at your fingertips. You have no excuse. You really don't. And like, you even look at some of the like graphics packs that you can purchase to enhance your videos.
Like pre-programmed.
You could do this. What we're looking at right now on Armageddon. You could do this on fucking Adobe Premiere. Like you
can get an iPhone app that just creates explosions around.
You could do the J.J. Abrams app, ironically enough, who fucking helped write this fucking movie. You can find all of it. Like it's all at your fingertips. And I think as crazy and silly and goofy as this movie is, like this is great inspiration. It's great stuff. And if you have ambitions or desires to do things like this, you just need to go out and just do them. Yeah. That's what we did. Like we just went out and made like Jerry's Angels, 3 Men in a Body. Like we just went out and made these crazy movies that we just wanted to make. We didn't even stop for a second to think, could we not do it? And I think that's what the beauty of like that youthful vigor is that you don't even think about what you can't do.
Yeah.
You know, you just think, well, this is what we're going to do. How do we do it?
Exactly.
And then, you know, at some point, for a lot of people, you know, they get older and they're like, oh man, I don't know how to do it. It was too much work and blah, blah, blah. But when you're young, you don't think that way.
I mean, you know, it's true though. It's like, you know, you get married, you have kids, you get a house, and you get all these sort of adult responsibilities that take over. But if you find a way, like you make the time for it, you find a way, it's so super rewarding.
Yep. Just do it. And we've all done it. All the people in our group. We may not be Michael Bay making movies, but all of us have worked in Hollywood. We've you know been in this, and we know a lot about it. I could tell you I got stories for days, but you know, it always comes back to this stuff: is this appreciation for these films that helped shape us at a younger age, where I remember Armageddon. This was a huge movie. Like we think now, a huge movie is like a new Marvel or DC movie, right? Like, oh my God, it's like, and I get excited for that too, obviously. But like, July of 1998, Armageddon was the movie to see.
It's so interesting. Like, and this kind of, this shows our age a little bit, but like the people on my crew, I've got a pretty good range. I got, I'm 42, so I've got people that are a little older than me. I got a lot of people that are younger than me, and some people that are like fresh out of school, and there are people that have never heard of this movie.
What? Never heard of Armageddon? Do you smack them in the face? You just go, the fuck's wrong
You're
with
fired.
you? How'd you get in here? Get me lobster. You're fired. That's like just friends joke for everybody.
It's like it took me ever since season 1 of the show that I'm doing. Like I was like, I want to do a show where like, for those who don't know, if you got little kids, it's called Puppy Dog Pals, and it's basically these dogs that go on these crazy adventures while their human is away. And since season 1, I was trying to figure out ways to like create an episode around the movie Twister. And like Disney kept shutting it down. They're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Why would they chase a tornado? It doesn't end. And so I finally, by the 3rd season, I think because we were such a big hit, they were kind of like, okay, yeah, this sounds fun. Like, do what you want. So
it's like a popular episode now.
So I had our mutual friend Brian Hall and some other people came over for my birthday this past the quarantine birthday, So we were over and they came over, we were watching movies, and because it was my birthday, they were like, what movie do you want to watch? So I said Twister, and my kids were there. My kids had never seen Twister, and they got a kick out of it. The tornadoes and the flying cows and all that stuff. Yeah. And when the movie was over, both of my kids were like, we want to be storm chasers. And I was like, okay. And then we decided to watch the Puppy Dog Pals episode of Twister right after the fact, and pretty like blown away at like all the little references. So
yeah.
What I appreciated, there was like 2 people on Twitter that called it out and were like, dude, oh my God, like, do you see that Bill Paxton episode of Puppy Dog Pals? I was like, for you, whoever you are.
For you Twister fans.
Paxton Lover 97.
God.
So this scene, okay. What do you think about this scene? The fact that they draw straws? Is it weird that somebody doesn't just volunteer to do it? I go back and
I don't remember nobody did volunteer though. Like nobody just said, I'll do it.
But like in the rules of like action moviedom, I guess you need this moment to have the Bruce Willis moment. Where
listen, this is a manipulative. Let's just be honest. Yeah. Like the fact that they even have a scene where they're drawing straws, because honestly, you would expect one of the older guys to just say, I'll do it. Like, listen, if I was in this situation, I had like a 20-something, 30-something year old guy that wasn't married, didn't have kids, I'd be like, dude, I'll do it. Like, I've lived a great life. I have a beautiful child. I've made my mistakes. I've had my successes. Like, I'll do it. Like you get to that point. And I think that might be something for younger audiences to have trouble understanding, to say, right. What the fuck? Why would you just volunteer to die? But it's like, you think about, and it really does change the older you get. It's not like we're fucking old men here fucking on, walking with canes and shit. We're actually in our prime. The 40s is your prime, in case you didn't know that. The problem is after your 40s, that's when it starts to go into fucking decline. But bottom line is like, you get to a certain point and you're like, you want to let the next generation have their heyday. You can, like, he can give AJ another 20 years. If you think about it in terms of what his age is, and it probably more than that. He's, I would say Harry's probably 50.
Yeah.
In this movie, probably about right.
I guess if you look at it in this movie, though, this is kind of a nice moment because Harry now sees what kind of metal he's made of. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like AJ would sacrifice himself for the world, which means he's good enough to take care of his daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. As he's saying right here, you go take care of my little girl now. That's your
job. And this, like, AJ yelling, I love you. I remember seeing the trailer and he yells it in the trailer. You think he's yelling it to the girl. I remember seeing it in the movie. I was like, oh, he's yelling that at Bruce Willis. Shit.
That's funny. I always thought this moment was like over the top cheesy, but now a little bit older, a little bit more world
Oh,
experience.
it tugs at the emotions, man.
It totally tugs at the emotions.
Totally gets you. I mean, I don't see how you can watch this scene and not get a little. If you don't get at least choked up, you might be a sociopath. You're going to be on a documentary on Netflix one day about how you killed a bunch of people. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, because let's put us in this situation. Say that was you who pulled my air hose, and you sacrificed yourself. Like, of course I'm going to be yelling that, man. Like,
Of course, yeah. I mean, and I think that's it's a given. Listen. The cool thing about this moment is that it's a human moment. Now, one thing I always remember about Armageddon, and this is not in like IMDb trivia or anything, is I remember reading about, I think it was in Premiere Magazine when they were talking about, the making of the film and how they were shopping the idea around. And they went and talked to like an oil rigger guy, like a real oil rigger person. They were like explaining the concept. And they always talk about this, and it's hard for me to buy it, but they're like, by the time we told him about the movie, he had tears in his eyes. And I always like would kind of like roll my eyes and be like, oh my God, what the like, and then Bruce Willis dies. And it's like, but I think if you're somebody that works in Hollywood and you're championed with the responsibility of telling one of these stories, then you should be able to bring somebody to tears in telling them what the pitch for your story is. But it also reminds me of the movie The Player. If you've ever seen the movie Player, Robert Altman's movie, where they're like, they pitch a certain type of movie, and they're like, and it's going to be dark, and then at the end she dies, no fucking happy ending, and then at the end of The Player, you see that they make everything that they didn't want to make, which is a complete Hollywood fucking sham job. So if you haven't seen Robert Altman's The Player, you need to get on it now. It's fucking worth a watch. It's a masterpiece of the Hollywood era, Robert Altman masterwork. But anyways, like that's where it ties into something like this, and that, but I think Armageddon finds that balance, because this is not a happy ending. Mm-mm. You can't sit here and argue that Armageddon's a happy ending, but at the same time, it is piggybacking on, the bittersweet tear jerks of the Titanic films, or not films, one film, which came out the year prior. So it's like, this was all the rage at that time, right? Was to fucking jerk those emotions out of you with a bittersweet sacrifice.
And again, going back to the casting thing, that moment with Will Patton there, like, he's such just a likable looking guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's played some assholes in his career, but like, like his best friend telling him like, I couldn't have done it without you, and he's choked up about it. Like, just. They picked like some of the most perfect people for this movie.
And even this scene too, like when I was, watching it, it's a tugs at the heartstrings, and apparently Bruce Willis had pictures of his daughters hanging up when he shot that scene so that he could get into that emotional state. And I've seen that before. I remember Gary Oldman, it's a tremendous making of documentary of Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, okay.
And Gary Oldman sitting in like his trailer or another room, I don't know if it's a trailer, and he's just staring at like family photos, like just staring at them. And, it takes a lot to get into a space of like bringing tears to your eyes. I think that people tend to look at acting, well, you're an actor, you're paid millions of dollars. What are your excuses? But it's like, not a lot of people can cry on cue. And Sean, this, like, we've made films, we've worked in Hollywood productions, we've seen Hollywood productions. Mm-hmm. There's so many moving pieces. From your set building to lighting to having everybody in the right place at the right time. And you're not giving this actor, hey, you have 5 hours to cry whenever you feel like it. It's like, the lighting's right, the set is right. I need you to cry now, like right fucking now. You have 5 minutes to cry. Like, these are things a lot of people don't take into consideration in terms of
150 people watching you.
Yeah, with people just staring at you that just want to go home and have a meal and hang out with their family, and they're waiting on you to cry. Like, the pressure is on. And this is by no means trying to say that the acting profession is any more heroic. It's not than, anything else out there. But, this is just taken into consideration, these things that are our entertainment. Like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to put this shit together. Here's fucking Peter Stormare. Again, I mentioned this before when Sean was having his bathroom break. He literally, without the Russian astronaut, everything would have failed. The mission would have failed. He is the only reason that A, they survive, and B, the mission is accomplished. Without him, it wouldn't have happened.
So like going to the acting thing, like some of these moments where these characters are just shouting, and they're shouting, sometimes they're just shouting random things and they're looking so intense. And on the set, it's so quiet and it's just a person shouting. And it's like, you don't have the ambiance, you don't have the music, you don't have the light, all this stuff that goes into it. And it takes me back to, we mentioned him earlier, our friend Kevin Otterness, who shot this very Michael Bay style movie trailer about these camera people called stringers. That would be the people that would go out and basically like comb the streets and get.
When does that trailer come out?
But we all got to be a part of that trailer, and he wanted me to play like one of the guys in the news van, and I still remember like he's like, all right, just like here, put the headset on and just like shout a bunch of stuff, like it's like it's dead silence. And
Get that shot of that person on the street.
Follow her down, don't lose her.
There's a shooting on 5th, get there now. Wow, motherfucker.
You feel so ridiculous when you're doing it. So you really, I mean, it's like, like acting can be, I think sometimes, actors can be a little too self-congratulatory with what they do, but it is a talent to like be able to do that kind of stuff and not come across as like a total tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it is. Dude. Again, like this is not to in any way delegitimize soldiers, policemen, fucking healthcare workers, all the people that are really out there doing the work that matters. But listen, all we're saying is it ain't easy.
Not everybody
thinks they can do it. And I've seen it and you put that camera on them and you're like, fuck, this guy can't do it. It's just, you know what it is? It's the equivalent of porn acting. So guys always talk about how they could be in man, I wish I was in a porn. Man, I would be great in porn. And then they show up on set and they can't get an erection. And it happens. I remember hearing, I think it was Ron Jeremy talk about it, how guys, he's seen guys show up on porn sets, like praying to Jesus Christ himself to get a hard on because they couldn't perform. Because you think you can, because you've like played with yourself to porn on the internet. And all of a sudden you show up to a set and you're like, you realize what it actually is, and it's a whole other ball of wax. So
there was this person on my crew. She was taking acting classes. This was obviously before COVID stuff. So one day we were at lunch with a group of people, and she was talking about what she learned in her acting classes was you have to basically stare across the table and make eye contact with somebody and not break eye contact and not smile and not feel uncomfortable. And so she was trying it out with people at the lunch table who were just like staring at each other. It's incredible. Like it takes massive amounts of like self-control and talent to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because people were looking at me and I'd make eye contact and I'd be cracking a smile or looking.
I can't imagine you maintaining eye contact.
No way.
Fail miserably.
So we passed it already, but the moment where Bruce Willis presses the button and you've got all the flashy stuff.
Yeah.
I always wanted to like take that moment and just insert Randy Quaid from Independence Day, where he's like, "Up yours," and just insert it in that moment.
Now that's funny
because it's kind of the same moment, right? Tell my kids I love them.
Tell my kids I love them. Hello, you alien assholes.
Did you see any of the videos that he posted last year? Oh my God.
Know that dude is off the fucking deep end.
Oh my God.
What's funny is I just watched The Wraith, and I watched it 2 nights in a row.
Charlie Sheen movie?
Yeah, because I love it.
With the car?
I fucking love that movie. It's cheesy. I love it. I love it to death. And it was free on Tubi. And I was watching it, and Randy Quaid is like the sheriff in that, and he's like clean shaven. I think it's even before Christmas Vacation. And I was just like, Wow, look at Randy Quaid before he fucking went off the deep end. Dude is like fucking lost it. And here we have some more of these great. What I love about these shots, I love the way he does like kind of this. You can see it's almost like there's like fumes in front of them, right? You know, like,
it's like you're in the crowd, right? Like you're there.
Yeah, exactly. Like these are just, I love these shots, you know.
That's a nice one. I love that.
Shot with a long lens.
Dude.
It's great shots.
Just the knowledge of lenses, I feel, is something that's missing in modern filmmaking.
I think, you know, people like Michael Bay, people like Christopher Nolan, and people like Zack Snyder. I was on the set of Army of the Dead, and dude, the stuff that Zack is doing on Army of the Dead, just with camera lenses and cameras, and he is a camera geek. And I love, like, dude, it's like, these are the guys you want making your movies, you know? Like, he's like, oh, I have like this special camera built and this and that. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is somebody that loves making movies. And I think Michael Bay loves making movies. It's very evident, you know? And he does make a particular kind of movie, even when he's making ones that are more grounded.
Right.
He's making a particular kind of movie. Oh, baby, I was a complete liability in space. Make out with me anyways. I never should have gone. That was a mistake.
See, it's fun in animation because you can just like, you know, you can ask for things on separate layers and you can blur the backgrounds and you can create your own lenses sometimes, which is fun. I love doing that stuff. Nice.
The Thunderbirds. Apparently I read like that configuration is all wrong, but whatever.
Who gives a shit?
When's the last time a guy died in space to save the world? Now we got Aerosmith, and apparently the wedding stuff is all shot on 8mm.
Oh, interesting.
This doesn't look like 8mm to me, but apparently it was shot on 8mm.
Now, is this the same church that they? No. Somewhere in the trivia for
where did they get stills from Armageddon?
Dude, isn't that like the funniest thing?
Okay, so there's the 8mm stuff. Here it is.
Isn't that the funniest thing when they use like the publicity photo?
Publicity photo for the movie.
Remember Kingdom of the Crystal Skull when they pan across Indiana Jones' desk and it's like the promotional still of Sean Connery. Like, wait a minute.
Wait just a fucking minute here. This is the best you could do, Paramount? Yeah, this was all apparently shot in 8mm, and they were saying that like when they started tearing apart the cake, everybody just started throwing it at Michael Bay.
We should really do a commentary on The Rock if you haven't already. But like
I haven't done The Rock. I haven't.
The story that I think is Michael Bay in the commentary is telling it, right? Where he's talking about directing Connery to duck in the water. He's like, yeah, you jump in the water and like flames go past your head, but like you stay underwater and the flames will just go past your head and whatever. And Connery's like taking it all in, and he's like, why don't you do it, you fuckhead? Like, remember that? It's on the I think it's also the Criterion edition.
Oh my god, the behind the scenes stuff of The Rock are phenomenal. And you know what? Honestly, it shows Michael Bay's strength as a filmmaker and how he does not. You know, there were people that were saying, "Oh, Sean Connery ate Michael Bay for breakfast." That ain't fucking true. Sean Connery went to bat for Michael Bay. If anything, Michael Bay won Sean Connery's unwavering support, and Sean Connery went to the Disney execs and he was like, "Hey, the kid needs more fucking money." And they gave him more money to make The Rock. He's like, the kid needs more fucking money. And, you know, it was one of those situations actually where I think Connery, he saw the potential in Bay and was like, hey, I like this fucking kid. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a great story too. But, you know, if you ever get a chance,
just like me,
watch those outtakes for The Rock. They are
with Ed Harris.
Yeah, where he's like directing Ed Harris, and Ed Harris is getting pissed. He's like slamming the phone, and dude, Michael Bay doesn't miss a beat. He's like, okay, keep going, do it again. And Ed Harris is just getting pissed. He's like, God fucking damn it. And Michael Bay is like, okay, one more time. Like Michael Bay doesn't miss a beat. Like it's great to watch a filmmaker work in that way. And then seeing Sean Connery run to the elevator that was supposed to close when he runs in, and it won't close. And he's like, close, you cunt. It's so fucking good. Oh my God. We need an outtake thing for Armageddon. I would love to see that. There's got to be tons of fucking crazy outtakes for this movie. It's such a one thing we didn't talk about for Armageddon though.
What's that?
But I gotta mention is the score by Trevor Rabin, which is I think a phenomenal score.
Still outstanding.
And there's a track that's like the same one right now. It's like the main track, and it's only on the soundtrack, and they don't have it in the actual film, and it is great. It is the main Armageddon theme where they just fucking rock out. Because Trevor Rabin, he has a music back. I forget which band he was in. He comes from, from a band. Why can't I think of the name? You guys at home are like, I know what it is, you dumbass. But anyways, it's a great fucking score. The soundtrack is good, whatever. It has like, a bunch of old 90s kind of hits. But the score by Rabin is actually great. And Rabin did a bunch of cool movies, soundtracks in this time frame. He did Con Air. He did.
He was with Yes.
Deep Blue Sea. Yes, that's who he was. He was with Yes.
Yeah. His Deep Blue Sea scores up. His American Outlaws score.
American Outlaws is a great score for a bad movie. That's like, one of those. He did The Great Raid, and he's just disappeared. He doesn't do scores for anything anymore, which is a true shame.
Was he Con Air or was that Mark Mancina?
Might be Mark Mancina.
Or were they together?
No, they were. It was a team up. It was a team. I'm gonna look it up because now you're gonna make my brain hurt. I'm going to the IMDb page right now, and that was 97.
Score for Con Air.
That was 97. So,
Mark Mancina and Trevor Rabin team
up.
Yep,
there it is. That's what I thought. That was a team up. All right,
Both guys from that Hans Zimmer school that really kind of they created their own identity. You know what I mean? Like some of the guys just kind of disappeared into obscurity there, but those are two guys that I used to buy just anything that they released.
Oh God, yeah, Mark Mancina, Hans Zimmer, Trevor Rabin,
Harry Gregson Williams.
He came a little later though. I think I'm thinking of guys
like
from this 90s era. But yeah, Trevor Rabin, and Trevor Rabin did Gone in 60 Seconds. A lot of the, the Bruckheimer era stuff, and then you had Mark Mancina doing like
Nick
Speed
was one of the guys there.
Nick Lenny Smith
did The Rock. Yeah,
he did The Rock with Hans Zimmer, so that was a team up one.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? I just watched Face Off last night. And, that is. I can't think of his name, but don't worry, it's coming to me right now because I'm looking it up. John Powell.
Score for Face Off.
Yeah, John
Powell. Yeah.
It's got that great little do 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 do. I love.
He really got noticed for the Born Identity stuff, John Powell.
Born Identity, which is great, and then also How to Train Your Dragon. So those are
really great tracks on it too. Yeah.
So anyways, thank you to everybody for joining us for Armageddon. I know we went on some tangents throughout, but that's kind of the fun of doing a commentary. Anyways, I love Armageddon. I still think it's a great movie. It's a flawed movie in a sense because it's not like some kind of fully rounded masterwork, I guess you could say, but it is a product of the era and kind of a perfect representation of that, summer movie blockbuster that was, plagued by, a rush shooting schedule and rushed out the gate onto big screens and still made a shit ton of money. So,
you know what? I think, and this is old man Sean talking here, but like, I think watching this again, like, I think it is time that we go back to stuff like this.
I mean, it would be nice, right? I mean, at some point, the superhero genre, it's already starting to fade after Wonder Woman 84 was just such a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I think, eventually we'll get back to these kinds of movies. And I think that'll be a good thing. And I hope we do. So,
yeah.
Anyways, thank you everybody for joining us. Hope you had a fun time. Hope you enjoyed watching the movie with us. Check us out again on our next one. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I haven't decided. We got more unboxings coming on this channel, more commentaries, and whatever else I can think of. So, and then my boy Sean, he's out there. He's animating stuff that your kids are watching. So you better be nice. Keep that in mind. So thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.